Football Friday? You ready for a weekend of football?
I'm ready for a Football Friday, and I'm also ready for Myles Garrett in studio. And I think we're very lucky to know that we're not somebody he's trying to attack, hurt, sack, maim.
It's one thing. I have this conversation with my wife all the time. Under promise, over deliver. We hope. We've gotten word. We hope. I feel like
it's like at Jurassic Park. There's been a sighting.
They're going,
the guys, Jurassic Miles, and it's
fun.
The movie Jurassic Park. You know you're going in the pen. You know the T-Rex is there.
He's there.
You don't know if you're going to get to see him.
You'll see him.
We're going to dangle a goat,
at
and
some
hopefully
point.
Miles is going to make his way in here.
To give you guys a look behind the curtain, first of all, to have Miles on is just spectacular to have him on. We're so excited, thrilled to have him on. But when we were doing the pre-show, Gibbs, we were all talking with Gibbs, and we're like, it could happen at any point.
Yeah.
So he can
I'm tweeting out the schedule, but he can blow that schedule right up
at any point.
One fell swoop.
The good news is that we are properly aligned for any sort of sneak attack. So we should be able to see him.
We've got
from
visuals.
All perimeters.
Gibbs has proven to be a worthy scout.
Incredible scout. And then our effort, our reaction,
first line of defense.
Our reaction to his scouting we did a little fire drill earlier, and our reaction to his scouting, I think, is such that I think that we will flourish when this opportunity presents.
What I think we found out about ourselves earlier today is that in a crisis, you and I, if there might only be 2 survivors, you're looking at them on YouTube right now.
Yep. Yeah. We're dick winners. If we stormed the beaches of Normandy, we're getting out of it. I'm telling you. That's who we are. That's who we are. That was an incredible effort out of us. The OBM Hot Topics, OBM Ohio Business Machines, preferred copy provider of the Cleveland Browns of all the X's and O's. For your office, call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com.
By the way, you know what else I'm excited about today? The rallies pick 'em, because you had an unbelievable week.
Little rally for the kid?
A little
rally.
Rallied? I believe you were 11-3 against the spread last week. I thought 9-5 was good. I was pleased with 9-5.
That's
I'll
incredible.
take 9-5 all day. I dropped 2 games to you. We're tied as we head
Even
into the midpoint.
Even Steven.
Now we got off to a bad start last night, but I blame.
No, didn't we both have?
I think we
both
thought it was close.
Oh no, I had it 24 to 21.
Yes.
24 to 21.
No, it was not the case last night.
Oh, you hate to see that. That's right.
Thursday night games are wonky. Who needs them?
I don't. The Will Fuller injury. Devastating for them. They've won 5 in a row. The Will Fuller injury is devastating. The trade deadline is Tuesday. For our purposes, we have thought that we are hopeful. You and I are hopeful that there will be a receiver, some sort of help on the receiver front happening. This is now another organization that is in the same boat and perhaps more desperate because of a difference in window, where that is a team. I mean, you go back to the beginning of the year, Houston was kind of a dark horse. A lot of people had them as a dark horse AFC championship type team that they had all of that stuff coming back.
Now they've won 5 in a row.
And now they've won 5 in a row. They've lost J.J. Watt for a year last year. They lost Deshaun for half the season last season. And now you lose Will Fuller, and you've won 5 in a row. And you say to yourself, that is a team that could be very aggressive. And I think they will be.
They will be, and they're, I think, as you mentioned, in a market that the Browns might be in as well for a receiver. And I'll tell you the name that I've kind of been thinking about, and I don't know if you can get him away from there, but I thought Devontae Parker looked good last night. He looked fast. He looked explosive. He looked like a number 1 receiver is supposed to look. And he's got some history with Jarvis Landry, obviously the 2 of them there. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans make a move, but they do like Kiki Kute, who is the rookie that's played very well for him. But that offense is different when Will Fuller's on the field. Why? Because of speed, and he opens everything up for them. DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Catch last night was crazy.
His hands are, and I thought I was listening on my way home from the Hugh Jackson radio show to the online with the Birdman, Iron Eagle, alongside Rod Woodson. And Rod Woodson compared DeAndre Hopkins to a slightly more explosive Chris Carter. Strong hands, physical, and that is kind of what he is. But he's got a little better run after the catch, I would say, right now. But Chris Carter was great in his day, and I don't know if he gets proper due. But Will Fuller is the one who opens everything up. For every DeAndre Hopkins, for every Jarvis Landry, their best friend is a Will Fuller.
Yeah, it is. So I think they'll be ultra aggressive. I would not be surprised if that is the type of organization that makes a call to the Giants about Odell Beckham. I don't know if that's something the Giants are would be something they would listen. I guess everybody listens to everything, and if the Giants are in full tear it down rebuild mode, if that's the thing that they're moving on to, Houston would make a lot of sense for him in terms of I think it'd be an easy sell for him to want to go to Houston. It's close to where he played college ball at LSU. You're not that far, and that's a city that I think a lot of athletes like playing in. It's a state without income tax. It's a team on the rise with Deshaun Watson.
It's a state.
That's a big deal.
My good friend the Miz went from California to Austin, Texas
for that reason.
Yeah, exclusively.
That's why all the golfers live in Florida.
Yes,
that's the way it works. I mean, you go down there, and there's a few of those states that are out there that have that. And so he's, I think that'd be a pretty easy sell for Odell Beckham down there. My inclination, and I'm certainly not as plugged in as you are on this front, is that I don't think those are waters we're wading into. Odell Beckham and Devontae Parker waters. I don't sense that.
I don't think so either. Would I like us to do so? Sure. I just don't. I don't see it happening. And there are many who think that it is the contract structure makes it prohibitive for the Giants to trade him. They would still be on the hook for so much money that it makes no sense for them to trade him. I would be shocked if Odell Beckham is traded. But if it comes to the Browns, that'd be a good shock. I think he's possible. I think Demaryius Thomas still remains possible. You look around the league. The problem is there's a dearth of quality wide receivers, which is why they are in such demand, and you don't typically let them go. I think when you look at, for Miami, they like Albert Wilson, although he's now done for the year, and I think that could maybe hurt, any Devontae Parker movement. Kenny Stills kind of fills the Devontae Parker role for them. Amendola was the guy that they thought could come in and help replace, Jarvis in the slot. But this is a team, the Dolphins, it would make sense in that they probably need to be a little bit realistic and say we're on to next year. We're not winning our division, and we're not going to be a wild card in the AFC.
Yeah, I think that's what could happen in the next 3 days or so, leading up to the deadline, is more and more teams kind of coming to that realization of, all right, we are who we are. Let's get out. Let's get out of this thing. And boy, you talk about when you start thinking about the market for receivers, everybody wants them, and there aren't many. You see why Amari Cooper got a one. Because there just aren't that many guys that have that potential that are going to be available, and the ones that are, the price is going to be incredible.
And you also see why a team, when you look at the Atlanta Falcons and you say, you already had Julio Jones, you had Mohamed Sanu, why in the world are you using a first-round pick on Calvin Ridley? Because you can't have enough weapons. This is becoming a weapons league. That's what it is. Look at the Chiefs. Look at the Rams. Look at what the Patriots are doing. Look at these offenses. It's about having weapons, and that's weapon acquisition. This is like right up Tom Modley, our good friend, the Undersecretary of the Navy's, right up his playbook. We need to acquire weapons, and you got to figure out the most cost-effective way to do so. And Calvin Ridley, if he were on the open market, is going to cost a lot of money. When you get him as a first-round pick, he's cheap for 5 years.
Yeah, and if you look at some of the mock drafts for next year, there aren't a lot of those. It's not a great receiver draft. So I think all of those factors certainly factor into it. We talked a little bit yesterday about Demarius Randall and his injury situation, but he appears to be full go. Practice today, and there was a little worry about if that was something that was linked. I know you had broke down that whole thing of all of the the 6
all
degrees
the different
of separation.
the permutations of what would happen.
There's a lot that would happen if he wouldn't be good to go, but he is good to go and should be good to go, full go, or as full go as anybody can be on Sunday.
He will be, I was told, no different than he was last week, and last week turned in a very good performance at cornerback against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he did return to practice today. I did talk to head coach Hugh Jackson about Demarius Randall earlier today, and he told me he's good to go, no worries there. I was voicing saying, the secondary is a tough one. We need him, and he said no, he's good to go, and he's obviously going to play a big role for this football team in this game against the high-flying Steelers. So that's good. That's a very good thing.
You had the Hugh Jackson show last night. You had that, and what do you got?
We did. I was gonna
We're gonna play it shortly. Do you have?
Yeah, I was gonna jump in. We did have it last night out at Razzles. Christian Kirksey was our guest live, and it was the biggest turnout I have seen in all my years of doing the coaches show at a bar. Apparently, the first year they did, which was prior to me back in 2013, Joe Thomas came to one, and this was the only thing they said that was even in that realm. He ended up signing after the show. It was out the door all night long, and Christian Kirksey is such a great representative of our organization and of our city, and just, he's an awesome, awesome young man, and it's amazing to think about the fact that only he and Joel Bitonio have been with this team for 5 years on the entire roster. They are the most.
They are the tenured individuals.
Browns, right? They're people who've been in the league longer than they have. But as far as being a Cleveland Brown, no one has been here longer than Christian Kirksey.
Yeah, you think about the kind of the juxtaposition of what the turnout you have from the fans, and what this organization means to the fans in this area, and then what Christian Kirksey represents to the organization, the way he handles his business, him signing autographs all night long, that doesn't surprise me at all. It's who he is, always with a smile on his face. He's just a leader. He's just a great representative. It's awesome. So I'm glad you guys had a good night.
Yeah, it was great.
And we do look forward to that. And coming up next, you will hear some of Nathan's interview with the head coach. That is coming up next on a lock and loaded CBD right here on 850 WKNR.
Jack Thistledown Racino is giving 13 lucky Club Jack members the opportunity to reach into the trick-or-treat bag for our October Haunted Hot Seat. But don't be afraid.
Pretty good, boys. What's happening?
$3,000 cash. Simply have your Club Jack card inserted into any BLT machine on the floor on Friday, October 26th between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. for your chance to walk away with the treat of cold, hard cash. Must be 21 years or older to gamble. Must be 18 or older for pari-mutuel wagering. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Nice truck, Shaq.
Hey, thanks for coming by. I want to talk to you about.
So it looks like Randall's going to shadow
Not a
Juju
problem. We'll give him credit for
week.
any prior coverage he had in the last 5 years.
I like your style.
Just making auto insurance easier.
Let's take a ride.
A fast, easy quote with low payments and immediate
see what
proof of
happens.
insurance. Go to
guys know something we don't know?
general.com or call 1-800-GENERAL.
They're preparing. I wish we could turn the camera around for all the YouTubers so they could see the people. See Paul? Come on over. Come say hi to everybody. Come say hi.
Hospital's great minds are pioneering new ways to care for
Oh,
your
wow.
heart. And at UH
So-
Harrington Heart and Vascular
Miles could
Institute,
show up at any point.
experts are
It might be
providing
it might be
breakthrough cardiac
too-
procedures
You used a
from
phrase
valve
in that
replacements
opening
done while
segment,
patients
which-
are awake to heart interventions
I think
I
you
was-
misheard it.
babies before they're born,
missed the
working
reference.
to improve
I
the
just
health
tweeted
and
who it
life
is.
of every person who needs it. Make an appointment at uhhospitals.org
Because
or
apparently you
call
weren't the only one.
844-229-7994. University Hospital.
I'm pretty sure you
Science
said.
of health,
What I
the art
heard
of
was
You thought I said winners.
All right.
with the
Explorer
word
camping checklist.
ahead of winners
Yes.
Very
being
relevant.
the
Sporting
sporting
goods
goods
store.
store.
That's right.
That we
That's
just
right.
discussed.
Which is what I said was what I tweeted.
harder than I
That's
remember.
that guy. You haven't seen Band of Brothers?
My old English to Sasquatch dictionary.
Hon, you know I don't speak Sasquatch.
That was I love you, baby.
You know we're
You haven't
only
heard
gone
that?
for
Oh,
one
You don't know who that
God.
is?
You're right.
Hold on, I haven't even
the
gotten here.
espresso
I'm
machine.
now just going
Ford
through.
Explorer.
I'm
There's
just
just
going
room for
through
more.
the
Ford,
responses.
proud partner of the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, Browns fans,
Oh,
join us
man.
on Sunday, October 28th at our Value City Furniture Brook Park location to watch the Browns beat Pittsburgh.
Okay, so then
Make
I gotta
sure
click
to get
on
there
you
early
for
to meet a
your-
Browns alumni, and the first 20 people in attendance will receive a free Browns commemorative
Because I
poster.
even said Normandy.
Snacks, drinks,
We're
and
storming
more.
the beaches of
I
Normandy.
thought
Like
it was a phrase I just wasn't familiar with. I just jumped in winner.
Fun starts at 12:30
Okay,
Sunday,
listen.
October 28th.
It's a
at our
bold.
UCF
It's a
campus.
bold
I
move.
thought it was bold. I thought it was as bold as Gibbsy a
You're
couple
not-
weeks ago.
You know, he did have a. he had
So
a
for the
bold one.
people, he's referring to the character Dick Winters.
Dick Winters
Of
from
Band of
Brothers, who is a real human being,
Yeah.
who is an American hero, who stormed the beaches of Normandy with the 101st Airborne. Yeah, that's what I said. That was the reference.
So
It came across.
I came across
Something else.
from your vantage point.
My vantage
What did my face do? That's what I'd like to. Excuse me? We're winners. Any kind of winner's a good winner as far as I'm concerned.
You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN 850 WKNR.
Yeah. Watershed Distillery, raised out of a commitment to community and the courage of forging one's own path. When owners Dave and Greg quit their jobs, swapped out their suits for jeans and T-shirts, and started distilling, Watershed vodka is handmade by the home team right here in Ohio and available throughout Cleveland. Awaiting, Myles Garrett at some point will be in the studio. The video production team is ready, prepared for that when it will be, and then it'll be pushed out on the social channels. You can check out that interview if you'd like to see visual proof of that. CareSource, individual and family health insurance. With health insurance from CareSource, you're not just covered, you're covered with kindness. Last night, my man, the Z that stands for Zegura, visited with Browns head coach Hugh Jackson. Have a listen.
Coach, we've got Christian Kirksey here, and we're going to have
5.5.
What did he show you stepping into that Mike linebacker job that has so much responsibility? Greg Williams defense, 10 tackles, the interception, recovers a fumble as well. What did you see from your leader stepping into that role and the performance he gave you against the Bucs?
Well, you just said it. I mean, Kirko is a leader, and he's one of the guys we look to. Regardless of who's down, we know he's going to go in there and play and give us everything he has. He's done a great job supporting back in the defense. He's been able to do it, and he's done a great job.
To the kind of, I guess, common eye, you look at the game and you say the Browns, the first half there was no offense. The second half, that was perfect. Why not do that all game? What was it about that second half that sparked this offense, and then that hopefully we can use and have that carry over into Sunday's game against the Steelers?
Well, I think there was obviously some adjustments made, and I think guys start making plays. And I just think our guys got to come out with that same focus, that same energy and urgency, and go do the same thing in the first half that they're doing in the second half.
Talk a little bit about Christian Kirksey and what he showed you in that Mike linebacker role, but how about Nick Chubb? Because I'm pretty sure it's not that common that a guy who is expected to start for you on a Sunday is traded on a Friday afternoon. And now Nick Chubb gets the opportunity, goes out there, 18 carries, 80 yards, 4.5 a pop, and the touchdown. What did you see from young Nick Chubb?
Well, I thought that was a good start to his NFL career as a starter. He did some good things running the football, did some good things in pass protection, and we believe it's just a start for him. We need to continue to get him headed in that direction, get Duke Johnson going, and we're looking forward to a lot of good things happening on offense.
Well, and you got to keep this trimmed, and it gets annoying, and then what happens is the top of the upper lip grows
has 50 yards
longer than the bottom
games.
because
He
you're
did that only
keeping
twice in his rookie season.
So then it just becomes,
maybe
it's
he's
almost
kind
like
of turned
eventually
a corner. What have you seen
it becomes like a walrus
effect. He is a guy that's really on
eventually you have to go like a
Bob Wiley
fingers
on offense.
I do. I think he's maturing. It's his second year in the National Football League. He understands the demands of pro football week in and week out. He's preparing himself extremely well, works hard in practice, and he goes out.
One day I will.
If you're ever going to go clean shaven, just keep the mustache where you
keep the mustache just for like a day.
Yeah, just for a day. Wilhelm did an amazing one last year. So he went full beard. He started with the full beard.
Obviously, it comes down to us.
Down to just a full goatee, but like full.
We know
then he went to like Hulk Hogan, Fu Manchu,
players.
then the mustache.
Obviously, it's got to be,
so 5 days
on our part to run the game plan that Coach Williams has put together for the defense, along with the defensive staff. And I think, again, you're not going to really stop
it would have been.
We're not talking about
down and make sure that those guys are the guys that won in the games for them.
So, Coach, when I was, kind of doing my preparation for this game and looking at it, we all know those names, but they have two tight ends, in Jesse James and Vance McDonald, who have combined on the season for 548 yards. They're averaging 15 yards a catch, and why that number jumped out to me was,
so there was an
extreme one of the preeminent tight ends in the league.
Hello, Bradley.
563 yards and is averaging
I
15
share a
yards
name
a catch. So
with
they're getting elite production. That's almost over 90 yards a game out of these tight ends.
Same spelling, same name.
And really? Not necessarily household names.
So Toyota of Canada.
How are they able to be so effective right
every
now
one of their
in this offense for the Steelers?
things. So the second episode of Beyond the Powder Highway snowboarding adventure is here.
Gonna shut
Next
down
stop, Revolution.
Beyond the Powder Highway. That could go a lot of directions.
That really could.
Schuster. So you got to find.
Sounds like a Denver Broncos party.
Sounds like I was going to say
those guys
Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Getting open.
Follow Mike, Beau Bishop,
for their
Matt
tight
Bill,
ends and
some other people
well.
as we take on the backcountry. And they tag me in it on Facebook.
Every time.
Every time.
Maybe they're inviting you. Would you go?
No Terrence Mitchell.
No.
There will be no E.J.
You're not.
Demarius Randall has
You don't strike me as a
winter
winter sportsman.
I know that you
I love the
him
winter
to be able to
sports.
So
play
why won't you go
on
do it?
Sunday.
Since like 5 or
What did
6.
he
Well, then why wouldn't you do it?
My whole life.
So why are you saying no?
Remember back in week 1 he played.
You want to explore the backcountry of Canada?
I can't do it. I feel like that ends
Dave
up.
Freeman would be offended. Is this a nationalist thing?
Against Mike Evans, and I thought did a
Far
very
from
good
it.
job.
I love the Canada. I enjoy the Canada a great deal. I think the anything with an extreme backcountry connotation you worry about. What you worry about there is that something
he's
goes
a really good football player.
something goes afoot,
really
and next thing you know, you're eating like the guy you're
but you just mentioned
calf.
it, his ability
Like
to go
that's
out
what
and play
happens.
corner.
So you can't.
His ability to go out and match up in the slot.
I
mean, we don't
I
have
got
a lot of
kids and
guys
people I'm
across
responsible
the
for.
league that can
I've got to
do
manage
that.
my risk.
You know, playing and play out,
because
and,
it's
and don't worry about where
these
they
are not
play,
real
they just
trails.
play, and that's what
And you also could hit something that
country.
You could hit something that's a hole. It looks like snow, and all of a sudden you're with the Yeti.
Yeah, you could be with like that. You're with the Yeti, and then what?
Then your dinner.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, like what's the DiCaprio movie when he's out in the wilderness in the cold? Revenant.
Where doesn't the bear like try to like
mauls him?
It would. I mean, obviously, it'd be a huge turning point in our season. Obviously, we're looking.
What's the other one with?
There's
another one with like. There's an older one like from the '90s with Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah,
we're
there in like Alaska
over.
We got a lot of things ahead of us.
All right, guys, coming to you here
this week in Pittsburgh.
You're up.
It is Steelers Week. Coach focused for it. Everybody is. This is obviously a big game. It's part of a brutal stretch of games, and I think the Browns have the second toughest schedule in the NFL from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the schedule, they're all good.
Even if there aren't statistics that back that statement, although I believe that there are, I believe we have the second toughest schedule. And you would have known that if you just know what's coming down the pipe.
Well, yeah, you see the Bengals twice, the Texans who have just won 5 in a row. I mean, where are your layups? What's the easiest game that you would point to on your schedule right now is Atlanta at home at Denver. Those are your 2 best matchups remaining on your schedule. And
you just mentioned Atlanta with Ridley and all that.
These are not easy matchups.
No, it's brutal. It's a brutal stretch of games. What has changed most from the we've changed entirely from the Steelers game in terms of our offensive battery has changed almost entirely. And then for them, they've just kind of built on what they were. There aren't too many changes for them. They don't have any real significant injuries, but we're a totally different team.
So in the first game, the Browns scored 3 touchdowns in that game, obviously 21-21. One of the touchdowns was a Tyrod Taylor run.
A low side.
One of the touchdowns was a low side run.
And one of them was a
Tyrod to Josh Gordon pass.
Yeah.
None of those guys will be playing on
barring
Sunday.
Injury for Tyrod, but
that's the only one. The other 2 have no chance of playing for the Browns. They'll be playing on Sunday, just not for the Browns.
For other teams.
Josh will be on Monday. But what a change, right? I mean, you really think about it. You go through this. It is totally different. And for the Steelers, they're just starting to hit their groove. As I said, they've won 2 in a row, 3 of the last 4. Their defense is playing better than it did earlier in the season. And this is a very tough matchup, but the Browns have the ability to be in this game. It's going to come down to not letting it get away from them early. You came back from 14 points on them once this year. You came back from 14 on the Bucs. I just don't see you coming back from 14 on the road against the Steelers. I don't see that happening. So you've got to be able to come out and jump on them. And we haven't jumped on anybody this year.
No.
I mean, the one game where you would say we had a lead, it was certainly in the third quarter. But remember, we started off the Raiders game with a pick 6 against us. We have not jumped on anybody.
You can't chase this team. I mean, it's hard to chase anybody in the league, but certainly not this team. Because I think that puts my big focus really for the rest of this year is the development and the nurturing of Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback. And that's job one. That's the most critical thing that can be done. And if you think about something that would really make his would hinder his development would be getting beaten down. And some of that's on him, because he can't take hits. He's such a willing scrambler. He's got to be able to get down when he can. But if you are chasing games, then you're talking about a defense that just pins its ears back and comes after you. That is not a recipe for a rookie quarterback to have a very big day. One other thing on Pittsburgh, and you think about it, is we were talking about all the changes that we've had to the roster from the opener to now. Think about Pittsburgh's ability. We talked about this yesterday a little bit with Tunjilka. Pittsburgh's ability to stay the course.
That's what they do.
Like to just focus, to singularly focus, to not panic, to not let the Le'Veon Bell thing be a big distraction, to just handle your business. They got off to a dreadful start where you thought, and I remember even talking on the show, like, I wonder if this is the year that they really, kind of fall off a cliff and aren't a Super Bowl contender. Well, here they are, and here we sit, and they're atop the AFC North at 3-2-1. You're talking about a team that you and I have said during this week that if they're not one of the 4, they're right behind. Yeah, and it's just an amazing focus that they have, that of just head down, keep going, get better, and we'll see you in December.
Well, it's because their core has stayed constant.
Of course.
And it's a good core. That's what makes it work. So You look at on offense, you know the names. You know the guys who are supposed to be playing for this team. You think about Ben Roethlisberger. He's been there the entire time. Running back, you're able to bring somebody in new. And one thing they've had to deal with from time to time is Le'Veon Bell not being available to them. But this offensive line, this is the same 5 that they had last year. Gilbert, DeCastro, Pouncey, Foster, Villanueva. Your top 2 receivers, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster. Same. Roosevelt Nix is your fullback. Same. Tight ends, Vance McDonald, Jesse James. Same. It's all of these guys have been here.
That's
and
incredible stability.
Incredible defense. Hayward, Hargrave, Tuitt, Watt, Bostic is new. Vince Williams, Dupree, Hayden was there last year. Sean Davis, Morgan Burnett's new. Artie Burns, Mike Hilton. I mean, these guys are the same guys that have been here year after year, getting done. Boswell and Barry, your punter kicker, same. That's what they do. They have gotten a great core. They stick it together, and then they add in pieces that help them. Last year, the addition was T.J. Watt. What an addition that was. This year, James Washington and Terrell Edmonds are the additions. So they have done a great job, and that's the model that you want to follow. You have your quarterback. You've given him the weapons. You've got a great offensive line that has played together. I mean, Hubbard made some starts here or there last year, but in terms of, when they were healthy, that was the same 5 offensive linemen. They're playing together every week. They're up front. They're the same. It's just the continuity, the ability to continue to improve. And then when you think about their linebacking core, Anthony Chickalo, Tyler Matakevich, these are 2 guys that have tortured the Browns. And so their role players are there. And that's why your special teams is better, because you have consistency amongst your role players. The Browns haven't been good enough to have that kind of stability.
Yeah, now that this core is in place, and we've had some of the trades that we've had, and we made the switch to Baker, the genuine hope that you hope more than anything in the world is that this core of players, this young core of players that you're seeing grow this year, continues to grow as the year goes along, and it becomes something just like what you just – I didn't realize it was that – I mean, that's unbelievable,
right?
That amount of stability. There can't be many in the league like that.
No.
This is nuts. That's got to be the top of the league.
It is
because
nuts.
even Shazier – who, if not for his horrific injury, would still be there, and then they would have
your linebackers would be the same. Your linebackers, your 4 backers from a year ago would be the same. Your guys up front, same.
That's nuts.
They are tremendous about bringing in guys that fit their system, identifying them, and like I said, they bring them in. They are very successful on the defensive line. These guys on their team. Think about this: on their team are all people they drafted. Hayward, first round in 11. Stephon Tuitt, second round in 14. Javon Hargrave, third round, 2016. Drafted by this team. And these are your key guys. So they have done an excellent job with it. And that continuity for the Browns, okay, next year there is no reason why, unless you've made an upgrade somewhere, but your starting 4 on your defensive line should be the same.
Yes.
Your linebackers, maybe there could be a tweak here or there, but Kirksey, Schobert, maybe Jamie's there. Maybe it's Jannard Avery takes on a bigger role. Same. Your secondary should be the same.
Pretty close, yeah.
Peppers, Randall, Ward, Money Mitch.
Yeah.
Those
Kindred,
guys, Carey, Kindred, those guys, again, same.
Yep.
Offensively, your line, you've got those 5 plus Corbett, and that 6 is going to be your core again next year. Receivers, you can make some changes. Your running backs, Chubb and Duke, that's going to be the same. Your quarterback Baker's going to be the same. David Njoku,
same.
We'll see what DeVal, Fells, all those fit in.
But in terms of the starter,
core of what you're doing is going to be the same. And we haven't had that at all. It's been massive change year over year.
Yeah. It's enormous. Browns fan join Sugardale at Market District in Strongville this Tuesday, October 30th from 11 to 1 for free samples of the official hot dog of the Cleveland Browns. Get an autograph from Kevin Mack, the legendary back. We see him walking around here every time from time to time. This coming Tuesday, October 30th from 11 to 1, Market District in Strongsville. Coming up next, Sir Andrew Gribbs joins us, CBD 850 WKNR.
When you've been in this business as long as we have, you've learned there's nothing sweeter than a scoop and a smile. And since 1969, we've been serving the flavors and faces that make us who we are. New Accord. It's built with a focus on our future to help navigate all of life's rocky roads. The 2018 Accord.
Stop by your local area Honda dealer today for great deals on the new 2018 Accord, the 2018 North American Car of the Year, or visit northernohiohondadealers.com.
Sundays are better with a Honda.
Casual clothes are actually
Hey, it's Emmett from my team at Liberty Ford. With 6 locations of inventory to choose from, visit LibertyFord.com.
This is like London. This is a London club. This is you go out and this is London. You'd crush in London right now.
You get great lease specials
exactly.
with zero money down
underneath
on
this
F-150s,
nice
Escapes,
zip up.
or you can purchase with 0% APR finance. Visit LibertyFord.com for details. At Liberty, there's always a sale.
Hair? That's a product? He did.
There are three things every homeowner wants their home to be: smarter, safer, and more fun. What if I told you you could do all three in one product? Introducing the OneLink Safe and Sound, a hardwired, smart smoke and carbon monoxide alarm with a premium home speaker and Amazon Alexa voice assistant in one sleek device. Built with First Alert safety technology and providing an immersive, great sound experience, the Safe and Sound elevates any home. Learn more at onelink.firstalert.com. That's onelink.firstalert.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Ohio Reading Corps, an AmeriCorps program, needs you to help shape the future of the younger generation. Build strong readers in Northeast Ohio by volunteering for the Ohio Reading Corps. 18 years or older may apply. Make a difference in your community. Register today at orck3.com.
The rope glasses thing is
your
so
combo
huge.
at Circle K. Get a starter, a snack, and a drink for $5 or less. No matter what combo you pick, you'll be getting a great meal at a great price. Head to Circle K to pick your combo today. Only at Circle K. Take it easy.
The other thing that struck me.
You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN 850 WKNR.
As long as they choose a good jersey. I'm from California. That's much more accepted in California.
Jerseys?
Oh, yeah. I think it's a cutoff, though. I think once
Are
you
we
hit,
on the air?
No.
I think once you hit, I'm going to call it 37, then it's over.
Let's address that. All right, go ahead.
You guys are up.
Man Can, awesome wine in a can. Yes, in a 12-ounce can. Man Can, 100% award-winning California wine available at First Energy Stadium and at local retailers. Sir Andrew Gribble is here, our senior staff writer, our insider. We were having a conversation off-air about the game day attire in various portions of the country.
Oh, so you're talking game day. You're
You're
not talking just walking on the street, I'm wearing a jersey.
I'm in a quarter zip and a sport. What was
this is
your
uniform.
shirt? This is my winter uniform.
This is your.
I have a summer uniform and a winter uniform.
The
this
summer
is my winter
a
uniform.
V-neck.
I like a V-neck T-shirt, and then in the winter I go this look. This is the layered look. It's really for nothing more than simplicity.
You don't believe in a sweater vest, though, do you?
No.
Good.
No. I don't know how to even.
Only this part of you is cold.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what to. I don't understand this. There's no functional. It's not functional. But then we start talking about Gribbs. We were talking about when you went to the South, and I said one of the things that was jarring for me when I moved, because I grew up in Montana and then went south and then came to the Midwest. What was something that was stunning to me was, and I first noticed it at Ohio State games, but then really like the Colts are crazy with it, where everybody in the stands wears a uniform, wears a jersey uniform in the stands, and of course we have a great tradition of that here. But that does not happen in the South.
No, it's all coaches' polos.
Yeah,
that's the big everyone, because it's more of like, the NFL is a player-driven league. College football is like a coach-driven.
No doubt.
Sport. I think
the
best player on
true.
the biggest figure on Alabama is Nick Saban.
Right.
The biggest figure on Ohio State right now is Urban Meyer.
Sure.
I mean, it's just so people dress.
But
like
there are
uniform.
You do at Buckeye games. You will see jerseys, and I don't ever remember seeing that.
You
in
don't
the South.
see a ton of a ton of those in SEC.
It's
games.
spring dresses, the spring dresses, and then for the girls, and then the coach polos are
And I'll say in the NFL, the two places that you see the most jerseys in the stands are the one that the Browns are going to this weekend, Pittsburgh. It's like a uniform.
Oh yeah,
everyone is in.
Everyone's in a
jersey,
uniform.
ranging from Greg Lloyd to the current stars. You throw in some Amos Zeraways here and there, like this the random celebrities, and then Baltimore. I think it's those are the two. It's the divisional games on the road. It's like a uniform out there. You're seeing every type of player from all.
What did you think of the Raiders? The Raiders had to be
a lot of jerseys there.
Heavy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the view from the press box maybe is so perfect where you just see like just this wall of jerseys from both of those stadiums.
Cascading. Heinz Field's a great place. I can't wait. And Sunday's game is meaningful, but we've been there in Week 17 so many times in my tenure here. I can't wait to be there in a Week 17 game where it's basically a playoff game. The team that's going to win is going on, and the team
or win the division
is going home, because that atmosphere of the fourth quarter when they play the hype video and play what's Renegade. It is.
That blew my mind.
I mean, it is. Even as we were there playing Landry Jones and the boys, and it's still.
It's hard to create that in an NFL atmosphere.
I
mean,
agree.
you get that a lot in college, but it's really hard to get kind of a tradition going where people really get revved up in an NFL.
I'm sure people are going to hate me for saying that. It's a special place, but I want to go there and beat them in that environment.
You don't have to qualify it. I think everybody understands your love for the organization. I think if somebody were to tell you, well documented, someone were to tell you that the hype video that the song that would work was, I remember the first time it was told to me, it was Bobby Carpenter, who played for the Cowboys, played a big game against Pittsburgh near the end of the year, and we were talking, and he goes, I'm going to tell you what, dude, the loudest I've ever heard a stadium is in Pittsburgh when they played Renegade. And I go, from Styx? He's like, I'm telling you. And then I've witnessed it. I'm like, wow, that's a nice job out of them.
And last year, I noticed they even had clips from earlier in that game. They had a couple big hits us in the video that they showed that they turned around that day.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty impressive.
That's getting after it.
From a technical standpoint.
Let's hope we get to that point and it's
going to happen.
That'd be fun, right?
Even the fourth quarter where they're down a lot and it doesn't have the same oomph. It always is big if they're putting a team away going into the fourth quarter. That's when it can really get loud.
I think Six will love this.
Yes, it's going to be right up his alley.
He's just going to love this. He thrived in these type of games. I'm not suggesting that means
we've had
over there and get a win.
Play well,
but I mean,
before.
I think these moments, Gribbs. I think these are moments that he's just going to love.
I mean, it's small sample size, but I think that if you look at his starts, obviously the first game he came in, he was great, but his two best starts have been on the road. I don't know if that's something to say he thrives off the atmosphere or what, but he struggled in those two starts at home and has come out really good. I thought his second half this past week was as good as we've seen him play. I mean, you had 3 scoring drives, plus one that took you down to the 1 yard line. I mean, that's hard. It's hard to do better than that in a half. So now it's about can you do it all game? Which outside of that first drive, the Browns had nothing in the first half, and even that drive ended at the 50-yard line.
The only game our offense scored before the other team was week 2 against the Saints. That's it. We kicked a field goal, and they immediately came back and kicked a field goal.
Yeah.
Jumping on them, I think, would be huge in terms of trying to set the tone for what you want to accomplish. And I kind of think, it just kind of popped in my head as you were saying that, Gribbs. Baker Mayfield's whole thing has been the underdog, me against the world. You know this very well. When you walk into a road stadium, there are a lot of Browns fans. I will say that. They travel well. But it is an us against the world mentality. There are a select number of people that want to see you have success. Everybody else there wants to yell at you, degrade you, and see you fail miserably.
Yeah, and I think the ratio, there will be Browns fans there. The ratio will not be what it was for the Bucs or Raiders games. There was a lot of Browns fans at both of those games. It won't be on that level in a Pittsburgh type of atmosphere there.
Some brave
I just don't I just don't want that to be the whole thing with him in the offense, because it seems like the only time they're playing great is when their back's against the wall and they're down. I mean, I asked some guys post-game if they play better when they're are they looser when they're down or something, because it just seems like the mistakes that are happening when the game's tied or they have a chance to take a lead, it seems like they're pressing a little bit, just things aren't working as well, and it's when they're down by a couple touchdowns or so that really things are just moving smooth, moving fast, moving crisp, and it's just a matter of doing that when you're not having to really fight back from a deficit, which is just hard to do week in and week out.
Think about what happens though when you're behind in a game from an offensive standpoint. You go faster, you go mostly out of the gun, and you throw a lot. And that's all what he's done his whole life.
Yeah.
is tempo, throw, chase. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's really the only team in the NFL that comes out that way is LA. I mean, LA comes out that way where they go play action. They go play action tempo right away. Chiefs give you a little of that.
That's why those two teams are the only two teams that know how to put teams away.
Yeah.
Like they're the only two teams putting up college scores out there in the NFL where no matter how good these teams are around the league, it just never seems like anyone can ever put anyone away like the way that the Chiefs and Rams do.
Because you almost get tentative. And I think the other part of it is just from a mindset standpoint is we're down 14. We're losing.
Let's go.
We need to go, or the status quo is we're going to be losing. And I think you need to feel that urgency to go out and take the lead. And I would imagine we feel it this week because you look at this Steelers team, and this is not a game where we're going to come back. I know we did it in week 1. I think it's a different team than we faced in week 1. We're certainly a different team. I think it will be a challenge to try to come back from 14 on the road in the second half against this team.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good after bye weeks, too. They're feeling good about themselves. They got to sit at home last week while every member of the AFC North got to lose in respectively horrific fashion, whether it be Cincinnati getting blown out, Baltimore having their kicker miss his first extra point ever, and then obviously what the Browns did in Tampa Bay, all losing in gut-wrenching fashion. And they're getting better. And you also, as good as this defense has been, you can't bank on 6 turnovers happening again.
No.
I mean, just that's something that just you can't imagine will happen again. A good game for you is 2 or 3. And you need to take advantage of those, which it just still has not happened.
And Ben threw 4 interceptions in that game. He's thrown 2 in 5 games since.
Yeah,
that was very atypical. The condition, there were a lot of factors that contributed to that. And you're right, you can't continue to lean on that week in and week out from this defense. And when you do get them, though, you've got to do a better job of capitalizing on the mistakes that your defense has generated. But it's great that Demaryius Randall's back out there because I think this is going to be a very tough matchup for our secondary with this very good passing
Where
attack.
do you think he's playing? Do you think he's back at safety this week, or can you?
I think he's going to play some safety, but I think more than anything, he's going to be. I think you're going to see Ward follow Antonio Brown, and I think you're going to see Randall follow Juju Smith-Schuster as much as possible.
Which is what they did not do that week 1.
In the second half.
Second half, yeah.
He came down, and that's when he came down and started playing corner, and they moved body from nickel back out to free safety.
Right, but I was talking about Ward. He didn't just shadow Antonio Brown week 1.
I think he will.
Yeah, I mean, because he's played at such a high level. I thought, Baker was up for Rookie of the Week this week. I thought the way Denzel played might have been his best performance all season last week. I mean, completely took him out of the game.
Yeah.
Just didn't have the stats to back it up just because they weren't throwing his way. I mean, that's the most encouraging thing about Denzel Ward right now. I'm not saying that's when people started knowing that Darrelle Revis was really good when teams started not throwing his way.
Yeah.
I mean, this has reached the point the last few weeks where Denzel's not even getting the chance to make plays because they're not even throwing his direction.
We had talked about that on Monday when we were doing our grades. Remember, we were breaking down every position group, and you had done the secondary, and we were talking about all these things. And I said I thought Denzel Ward, and you said on the show, Nathan said, I'm to the point where I just expect that. That's just who he is.
I didn't make a comment.
Like you don't make a comment because that's just who he is now. And that, to your point, that manifests every Sunday, which is a stunning accomplishment. This early into his career, basic guy that they're like, we're good. We're just not going to mess with that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because then what do you do when E.J. Gaines comes back? Because I think Demaryius Randall's a really good corner. I mean, that's
great free safety.
But he's really good free safety too. But Demaryius might be, after Terrence Mitchell's injury, the second best corner on this team, even with E.J. Gaines back, and that's where it gets tricky. That's why I think that even going forward, it's going to be a matchup by matchup kind of weak because even though you added all this depth in the secondary, that's why you did add this depth to the secondary because you imagine this team losing 2 starting corners last year.
Over.
I mean, it was just over.
Once McCourty hurt his ankle, it was over.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's still playing.
So they're holding their own with what they've got now, and I think not enough has been made about the season that Demaryius Randall's had.
I agree, and I think we have tried to give him our due on this particular program because I think he is, Miles. Ogunjobi's been great. Denzel's been great. But, I mean, Randall is MVP-ish for me on this defense for what he has brought. And to think of the way that John Dorsey acquired him, brilliant, I don't think is overstating it. It will be interesting to see what goes on. But what you have now is an ability to line up in one look with Randall at corner or in and be able to play like some inverted cover too, where he actually ends up playing safety and Body Calhoun comes from what looks like the safety and is actually playing corner. There's a lot of flexibility in this defense, and I think Randall is a guy that's going to be used in a lot of ways going forward. I do think, if you're at full strength, they liked what they got out of E.J. Gaines. He'll go back to his traditional free safety position, but you have situations where you can go with just the 4 DBs, drop him in as your nickel corner, and then pop him back out. There are a lot of things you can try to do to disguise what you are doing because of the versatility he provides you. He's been great. He was a great find. I look forward to the day when we announce on hopefully this show and not at 320. Hopefully we announce that he's been signed to a long-term deal and is going to be here. He is, to me, core piece of what we're doing.
Yes, I would agree with that, and that is one of the great trades, one of the great offseason moves. Gribbs, trade deadline approaching. It's been awful busy, around the NFL the last 7 to 10 days. A week ago at this time, Carlos is traded as soon as we got done with this show. He gets traded. And do you sense that John Dorsey will be active here in the next couple of days? Do you think that he will figure out a way to get some receiver help?
Yeah, I think he's going to try. It's just the NFL is just it's difficult. I mean, it's because it's not like the other leagues where there's a real definitive list of buyers and sellers that kind of comes up at the trade deadline. I mean, most teams right now feel like they're in it. This Giants situation is not normal for a team to be selling off like it is, or the Raiders. I mean, those are two teams. Raiders have already gotten rid of their one wide receiver that's worth anything for teams. The only one that stands out to me is maybe Demaryius Thomas with Denver. Devontae Parker had a good game last night, but
he looks good.
But did you want it? But clearly there's been some issues there.
Yes,
injury prone, as bad as any wide receiver out there. And what would it even cost to get Devontae Parker? I can't imagine a ton.
I wouldn't think so. To me, he is a guy that if it pans out can be with you for a long time. Demaryius Thomas, I think we do have – there's an expiration date on that loaf of bread. So
right.
I don't know. Would he help now, and do you want to get bigger help now? Yes. But I think, to me, Devontae Parker, I watched last night, and I really wanted to watch him just to see if that was a name.
But
he looked good.
But my question is, if you're making a move midseason, are you making it for the final 8 games, or does it have to be beyond?
I think it has to
be that part.
Beyond.
It's the and beyond is more important than the final.
Right.
Because then you can have a full off season, though. To counter that, I think you can have a full off season to maybe get that receiver room back in line with draft picks and free agent signings. Whereas maybe if this was a last year, I would be more inclined to say it has to be beyond. But right now, I think it'd be fine if it's just for the rest of the season, because you think you're playing competitive football right now. It's important to win games even if you're not making the playoffs. I think this team is in better position to take a rental even if they're older than they were in previous years.
Agree. And by the way, if Demaryius Thomas walks up those stairs, I'm going to go hug him and hopefully get him in here on CBD. I have no problem with it.
The last time we had a receiver in here, it was Suns Out, Guns Out.
Suns Out, Guns Out.
That's right. Yeah, with Des.
Yeah.
Those things can happen.
I would prefer somebody that Baker can develop a chemistry with, and if they do really kind of hit it off, that this is something that could blossom over the next couple of years. I mean, I think we would just prefer that, but am I saying if they want to throw a 5th-round pick and Demaryius Thomas gets to play with us for 8 games and give Baker another weapon, am I saying no to that?
I just have I have way more faith in Demaryius Thomas coming in, being a professional, getting in the swing of things as fast as possible.
Sure.
Devontae Parker is a lot of question marks there.
There are people, by the way, when I mentioned his name, because I mentioned it, I think, on our show and on the Hugh Jackson show, and just total speculation. This is not informed speculation. Sometimes I will give you informed speculation. This is not that. But there are people who are still bringing up what his mom said about Cleveland pre-draft. And she didn't want to play for the Browns. They don't want to play. And
Parker?
Yeah. It's like people change. People mature.
Just settle down.
Let's
settle down.
Let's let it.
Everybody settle down.
Quote
Let
Todd
the kid
Haley,
live.
I will not be reactionary.
Let's not be reactionary.
That's right.
Gribbs, good stuff out of you, buddy.
No problem.
Always good to see you. Zenith's mission is to help.
Pleasure.
Of course. Zenith's mission to help athletes pursue their game with confidence, designing helmets and protective gear for athletes' needs, wants, and demands of sport. Learn more at zenith.com. That's zenith.com. Coming up next, your Fantasy Minute with Mr. Zegura. Coming up next, CBD, 850 WKNR.
And we are scaring up a huge sale all month long only at Rick Case Honda or Rick Case Hyundai. We're the only dealership that doubles the factory warranty to 100,000 miles on new Hondas and 200,000 miles on new Hyundais. We're located off of I-90 on East 200th Street or rickcase.com.
Now at CC's, new endless meat eaters and supreme pan pizzas on the buffet starting at just $5.99. Only at CC's. Price and participation vary. Restrictions apply.
What's up? It's Hammer, and Northeast Factory Direct still has everything you're looking for in outdoor furniture, about half the price what you pay at retail. Maybe with all that money that you're saving, you're going to treat yourself to a hot tub, half the price as well, or make an appointment, visit the new Hot Tub Outlet and Swim and Spa showroom in Menor. You're going to find 60 hot tubs you can have right away, the largest selection of swim spas in Northeast Ohio. Check out their selection. West 140th Street in Cleveland. They're Lakeland Boulevard, just off I-90 in Euclid. The showroom is in Menor, or go to northeastfactorydirect.com on the web. It's northeastfactorydirect.com.
Pro customers, right now at Lowe's, you can save on the supplies you need most from the brands you trust to help you get the job done on time and on budget. Visit Lowe'sForPros.com for details.
I'm Joe. That's future Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. And I don't like drafts. Drafts make you uncomfortable in your own home and send your hard-earned money right out the window for outrageous energy bills. If you have drafts, make your first pick Universal Windows Direct. Right now, for every window you buy, you get the next window free and 0% financing for 36 months. You're on the clock. Call today, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Universal
It sounded like he said, we are dick winners.
If there's football and it's getting colder, that must mean one thing, Akron Zips basketball. Catch all the action with a season ticket for just $75. Your season ticket includes all regular season games and a potential first-round MAC tournament game, parking included. You'll also receive a season ticket holder gift, all adding up to less than $5 per game. Tickets alone start at $20 on game day, and parking itself is $10 per game. Over $500 value for just $75. Visit GoZips.com, text or call 888-99 Akron.
Looking for work? Minutemen is hiring all 3 shifts on Cleveland's near west side. Machine operators, press operators, inspectors. Visit MinutemenInc.com/ESPN. This is a great opportunity, so hurry before these positions get filled. No experience? That's okay. Now's your chance to get trained as a machine operator, press operator, or inspector, and they'll pay you
Did
for
you
the
see what
training.
I tweeted out?
I told you this was a great opportunity. Go to MinutemenInc.com/ESPN. That's MinutemenInc.com/ESPN.
All right, guys, come back.
Live leader in sports is ESPN Cleveland.
You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN 850 WKNR.
You're up.
Beau and Nathan CBD. I always go selfish on this with my own fantasy.
Let's get into it. I like that. Good.
With my own fantasy questions. Rodgers or Goff play each other?
My only concern with Goff is that they're not letting him get the touchdowns. They're giving
Gurley's getting all the touchdowns
every week.
Yeah, which I have.
But that secondary is dreadful. I'm going Aaron Rodgers. You better chance of him playing.
Plus, he'll
catch-up.
chase.
Yeah,
he'll have to chase it a little bit. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, sir.
We're in agreement. All right, here we go. Week 8, start 'em and sit 'em. This is the FanDuel Fantasy Minute brought to you by FanDuel. You can play, watch, and win all in one day at FanDuel. Quarterback, my favorite guy this week, Sir Andrew Luck of the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, great matchup. He's got 15 touchdown passes in his last 4 starts, 300 yards passing all 4 games. One of those, he went over 400 yards. Now they go against the Raiders, who cannot stop anybody. Russell Wilson, 3 touchdowns against the Raiders in London. Rivers, 339 and a pair of scores. Mayfield, first multi-touchdown game of his career to go with 295 yards. Heck, even Ryan Tannehill had 290 and 3 scores against this defense. So fire up Sir Andrew Luck. It won't be lucky either. It's going to be because he's good. Running back, Philip Lindsay. My man, he's been so solid.
He has wrestled this away. I mean, there was talk of Royce Freeman. Royce is hurt now, but there was talk of the year that Freeman would be the ace back, but it has not been. It has been Mr. Lindsay.
It has been Lindsay, and this guy, you want to talk about efficient going out there. Lindsay, 5.8 yards per carry. He's also caught 15 balls for 119 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns on the season, and now with Freeman banged up, I think you're going to see a lot of Mr. Lindsay in this game, so Lindsay against the Chiefs, he can play even if they're down. He's situationally solid. Yes, Devontae Booker will mix in on some passing downs, but he can do it all, and I expect him to have a big, big game. If you're desperate, Doug Martin now starting for the Raiders in that Colts game. I think that will be a little bit of a shootout, as it were. Wide receivers this week, and there are many of them to like. John Brown's been on fire of late. Doug Baldwin against the Lions, and right now the Lions have been struggling with slot receivers, 31st in the NFL. So I think Doug Baldwin, who hasn't gotten in the end zone much for you this year, gets into it this week. And Obviously, I mentioned John Brown. This guy has come out. What a performance and what a performer he has been. He's fully healthy for the Ravens, and he's been the key to their passing attack. He's given you over 100 yards in 2 of the last 3 games. He leads the team in targets, red zone targets. He has been phenomenal, and I think John Brown is a guy that you want to continue to roll out week in and week out. By the way, on your waiver wire right now, some leagues are still open, even though the Texans have played Kiki Kute, who I mentioned. That's the guy you want to pick up in Houston. He's going to try to fill in Bill O'Brien saying that today, that he's going to be the first guy with the opportunity to fill the shoes of Will Fuller.
Do you have a Brown must start for us? Who do you like?
I'm going to go with the Chief because David Njoku, 4 straight games over 50 yards, at least 50 in every game started by Baker. He scored in each of the last 2. He's playing at an incredibly high level. Always Nick Chubb. I think he's a must-start now as the bell cow for this team that does run the football. And then, obviously, Jarvis is our main man in the air.
Very good, sir. Good job out of you.
Thank you.
Going to see the Browns at First Energy Stadium. Now with Park Mobile, you can easily reserve a parking spot before you head to the game. Drive right to the lot, have a guaranteed spot waiting for you. Just make a parking reservation on clevelandbrowns.parkmobile.io website. That's clevelandbrowns.parkmobile.io. Find your game, select your lot, reserve your spot. Discover a smarter way to park for Cleveland Browns games at First Energy Stadium. Visit clevelandbrowns.parkmobile.io. Coming up top of the hour, you will hear from Browns defensive coordinator Greg Williams on CBD 850 WKNR.
Hey, we're here at the Browns game with Mark and his sweet Ford Edge. Whoa, 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 sweet? To call a Ford Edge sweet is like calling a Da Vinci a drawing, a Michelangelo a figurine. Ford Edge is a masterpiece of art and science. Its EcoBoost engine and its innovative driver assist features.
Okay, well, I say it's pretty sweet. How would you describe the Ford Edge?
Always unstoppable. And it's pretty sweet. Ford, a proud partner of the Cleveland Browns.
Nathan Zegura here to tell you about the only way to travel around Northeast Ohio. That's TL Worldwide Transportation. It's a live 24/7 operation that has all of your transportation needs with a large array of various types of vehicles from sedans all the way up to full-size motor coaches. TL Worldwide Transportation is the largest woman-owned transportation service in Northeast Ohio with a fleet of over 90 vehicles. And Browns fans, they want you to go to the game in style. For specials on Browns game days, call 1-800-799.
Hey guys, Gibbs is uploading Greg now, so we'll have it.
Okay. And we'll get out of it whenever we have to. Miles, we're here at 2:15.
Okay. And if we need to stack, we can stack.
There's all of your favorite classic Italian dishes, made from scratch and to order, including pork ossobuco, beef manicotti, pasta carbonara, veal marsala, and of course, pizza. Call 440-235-8880, 440-235-8880, or go to jojocarlonis.com to reserve your table today.
Don't look now, but it's that time again. Flu season is about to rear its coughing, sneezing, aching, feverish head. Discount Drug Mart believes that the best defense is a good offense. Protect yourself and your loved ones in just minutes from the flu bug, the safe, convenient way with a flu shot from Discount Drug Mart Pharmacy. No appointment is necessary, and most insurance plans are accepted with a zero copay for most Medicare, Medicaid, and several private plans. The flu can end with you at Discount Drug Mart, open 7 days a week, including holidays. See pharmacy for details.
Here's the thing about cut rate health insurance. Sometimes what you think you're getting isn't at all what you get. CareSource is real health insurance. Our marketplace plans give you complete and affordable benefits. You don't have to worry about pre-existing conditions or limited coverage. So enroll or switch by December 15th.
I wish they could talk back to us. What if there's a speaker that they could
Marketplace.
CareSource policies have exclusions, limitations, and reductions of benefits. Costs may vary based upon individual circumstances. For complete details of cost and coverage, visit caresource.com.
Before you can cheer on your Cleveland Browns, you have to get game day ready.
Like an AMA. Ask me anything
you handle
except the Browns. So not quite anything. Ask me almost anything.
Your next tailgate. Sugardale, located right here in Northeast Ohio, has been supplying American-made bacon, ham, pepperoni, deli meats, and your favorite tailgating hot dogs for nearly 100 years. Be sure to look for the official
king of all the meats,
your Cleveland Browns at your local
now,
grocery store.
Are you talking
a proud partner
cut
of the Cleveland Browns?
Or are you talking if I had to pick one animal to eat forever, what's the animal I eat?
Dedicated to your health. As the largest healthcare network in the region, we're happy to accept every major health plan in Northeast Ohio. Everyone can access all UH campuses.
All right, guys, we got Greg. We're back here in 45.
200 locations, university hospitals, advancing the science of health and the art of compassion. To schedule an appointment, call 866-844-2273.
A veal chop, whatever it is, how you want it, what in your mind is the ultimate
dedication, support, and togetherness. Through thick and thin, we support our teams and our city.
I think, in my opinion, it would be a properly marinated hanger steak.
And provide support to those who need it most. We're proud to serve a region where
because there is I like a marbling.
We believe in
I like the
Cleveland.
marbling in it.
Let us earn your trust. Call 1-800-ELK Ohio.
Yeah.
Elk and Elk. Proud partner.
Now I wouldn't get that if I was going to, Morton's.
No. But I'm saying like you have 1 meal left to live.
Emmett Golden and Gerard Cherry. Weekdays at 3 on your home for Cleveland Browns football. ESPN 850 WKNR, Cleveland.
Yours? Now, is the perfectly done prime rib, but does it also, I don't think it's the king.
It is the king. This isn't a...
I think you're making...
You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN 850 WKNR.
You guys ready?
First of all, the ribeye is superior to the prime rib.
The king of all the meats.
Yeah, put us on.
All right, we do have Greg.
Prime rib. The king of all the meats.
You're up.
Do you think so? We were having this conversation, folks. It's CBD, Beau and Nathan. We were having the conversation, and you said, "What is the king of all the meats?"
King of all the
and
meats.
then I wanted a bunch of different, qualifiers. But then you said, "No, this is a known thing." And then you said what it was, and I think you made it up. But you're suggesting no, that it's not. That this is a moniker that has been given and received universally and globally as the king of the meats, being the prime rib.
That's right. Anybody who listens to this show for the last, if you're talking
but
to CBD
I'm not talking
audience,
about that. I'm talking about
I've ingrained it into their minds.
I know, you presented it to me. In fact, your exact line was, "That's like arguing if Elvis Presley was the king," is the way that you said it.
Yeah.
So that would lead me to believe that if I went to like Liverpool and I said, "Get me the king of the meats," and they would just bring me a prime rib.
The king of roasts, the king of all the meats.
Now, the king of roast part, I believe you read, and I think the last part you added on your own.
That's
your own edit.
That's for me to know.
I think that's an appropriate edit.
Prime rib is the king of all cuts.
I would prefer a ribeye to that. If the conversation was one cut of beef, the one cut of beef.
You'd rather have just a ribeye steak than
I'd rather have a ribeye than a prime rib. Yeah, I would. I would do that.
You've never. I will say. I know you. I know for a fact what I'm about to say next is you've never had my. You've never had my prime rib.
How are you doing it? What are you doing with that?
There's a lot of love that goes.
Goes into that thing.
And then
I'll be very. I do most of the cooking at the house.
As do I.
And I don't. Isn't that something? Why do you think that is?
I didn't cook at all, and then I had a life event that led me down the path. And I come from my father, uncle, cousin, all great chefs, and now I think I'm not afraid to say that I'm getting into that realm.
Yeah, I like it.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
I enjoy it.
The only thing that's hard for me is that I've got 3 little animals there on the reg so that I have to come up with like family meals.
My daughter,
so that's a little tricky.
I cook for myself and obviously
sweet
Miss K.
Yep.
My daughter will eat whatever it is that I make for us and loves it.
Loves it.
She has an advanced palate.
It's amazing.
She eats.
How's Sonny Boy do?
Butter noodles, plain noodles. That's it.
That's it.
Rice.
Does it break your heart? Because I have a son like that too, and it breaks my heart. I made a nice pot roast yesterday, and the middle child, my Beamsy boy, he just would not go there, and it broke my heart. I'm like, you have no idea how delicious this is. Please just try it. I'm begging.
Won't try it. My son loves money. He understands money talks. Okay, because that allows him to get the buy-ins in his video games that he wants, or to get whatever what he wants. I offered him at the Palm San Antonio last year because I love
one of the great steakhouses in the world is the Palm.
There are very few where you can get a lobster that will blow your mind, along with a prime rib that will blow your mind, and they always have prime rib, and it is always amazing. And so I offered him. It got silly. What I'm going to say. It got outrageous, but I ended up offering him at one point $100.
$100
for a bite of lobster.
No takers.
No. I said one day you will pay $100 for the privilege
to see this thing
to eat lobster.
That's right. That's amazing.
I don't know if
tough
he will.
like that. Yeah.
He almost had. We were on a vacation. I told him he needed to eat 3 peas, 3 individual peas.
Yeah.
He could not get him down. It was as if I was asking him to swallow.
Then does a gag reflex?
Well, then he started it
gets
then
snowballs.
It's not even.
Okay, lock it up. We're in a public place. We can't have this.
Back to your noodles.
You win. Get the kids some noodles.
He will have rice. He stays in the Grain family. He's loyal to the Grain family.
Grain family.
He will have rice.
Maybe try a ribeye for him. See
His name's Bryce.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All
right.
Lovely boy.
God bless him.
God bless him.
Every Friday and Saturday at Jack Thistledown Racino, 9 Club Jack members will play $2 million wheel and deal for a chance at 10,000. Entries can be earned throughout October, and the final participant, October 27th, has a chance to drive away in a 2018 Nissan Armada. I assure you that the person you'll hear from next, favorite cut of meat, is not possum, even though he did say that he ate them last week. Yeah.
You don't want to eat possum. By the way, Adam Short says, Beau, this is not new news. This is widely known across the globe. Prime rib is the king of meats, but in your defense,
King of kings, he says, quoting accurately. You added the king of meats.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
It's twice
that
now.
was a typo.
You've given me
the king of kings is Triple H from wrestling. King of kings, fine. Which if you're the king of kings, you're the king of.
Read the last
meats.
sentence from him.
But in your defense, I'd go ribeye all day too.
It's the correct choice.
It's when I order a steak at a restaurant, only order a ribeye. That's
of course.
That's all I order.
Yeah, I just feel like people don't know. They don't know. They think that the fat is a mistake, and I'm like, no, that's
why it's
the whole point. That's the whole point.
I don't get the whole strip thing. I don't get it.
I don't either. It's not for me. You got to go one or the other. Greg Williams knows a cut of meat. I promise you that. Here he is.
Demarius Randall, what he's been able to
quote him accurately. I'm trying to help the guy from his typo.
It's very valuable, and again, one of the things that points out that when I tell you guys this,
are we going all 2 hours on the
YouTube? Everybody on our team, every defensive player has to play more than one position, and position flexibility improves.
Prime rib. The undeniable
king
of meats. This is from the magazine Bon Appetit.
I really like
you
him
win.
coming
That's
out.
That's a proper reference.
Prime rib, the undeniable king of meats, is back and better than ever.
Liked him.
Yeah. Beau just goes, yeah, you win. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
what did he say?
He goes, yeah, you win. That's it. Okay.
I think Dom.
That's right.
Mike
I think if you drop it Bon Appetit,
you corner and nickel position.
I can't dispute that. I'm surprised I haven't
had a chance to get him back here.
Do you eat a lot of
and we've been doing that since OTAs and mini camp and training camp. Have been playing him in that position quite a bit in practices and stuff too. So when the chance arose, we got to get ready to roll. It's the next man up. It's not only him. You know, it's each week, each day in practice, guys are forced to go in and play other positions. And as a coach and as a player, you know, we concept teach and we concept learn. And if you are challenged in that way, you'll have a hard time playing for us because you have to understand the concepts of the call, the concepts of the scheme, the concepts of what we do. And now, next man up, best guy up.
How did he play? How did he play?
Played good. He played good, you know, and one of the things that caught my eye was last year when he played against us here last year. When he was at the Packers, I was watching him during the game. You know, a couple times during the game, I think, wow, you know, and then the opportunity for him to get here once that discussion came up, you know, back in the winter, you know, I was all for it because I saw how well he could do those type of things. And, you know, he's battled through injuries. That's the toughness part of our position. Everybody here has got some type of a nick or something that's aching. You know, hell, I ache every day when I walk in here, you know, so I mean, that's just part of our business, and you have to be able to fight through those things. He does a good job with that, as a lot of the other guys that we have, and the position flexibility helps.
Mike Cornerman body Kaufman played, I think, every snap on defense. Hasn't played a lot this season, so what did you think?
Yeah, and, you know, it was a lot from the fortunately, he was fresh, but and not only that, with all the special teams plays too. So I think Coach Jackson and I think Joe Sheehan's done a really good job. We've battled all year long on playing the most plays in the National Football League. We've played the most plays, and with all the overtimes, and then some of the things that you have to do to get their bodies right. You know, get them back to recover, to bounce back. You know, Body's done a good job with that, and these guys here do a good job with all the facilities we have here for recovery and all the things that they can do to improve recovery. He played well. He did good. But he's been doing that. It wasn't something where that was shocked. he's playing in practice in all those positions too. He played multiple positions in the game too, not just in one position. So, and I said this last week, is that when it's all done, over and done, he thinks he wants to coach. So I think he's got a very good understanding about how to do those type of things and do more than one thing.
You can do.
Week one, and then since week one against everybody else, he's kept up.
Until you get a chance to be in live competition, you don't really know completely about a guy. I was very impressed in Oper, and the first words out of my mouth when the advanced scouts came back and gave us a report last Monday night. We always meet on Monday night after a game to get us a jump start going into the Tuesday game planning and stuff. Is that I had watched a ton of film on him in the afternoon last Monday. And he looks fresh. He looks better. I think he's even improved since the first game that we played against them, and that's through experience. He has I think his quickness and his feel on in space plays. He's doing a really good job, even better job in space than what he was doing coming into our game. I thought he pressed the hole. I thought he's a dominant, powerful runner. So you do the same thing you're talking about. And he's improved in his pass game. So time on task for him. We got our work cut out for us. We're going to have to do a good job. He has played very well this season, and it's also good in the back of my mind is that it's good to see guys that overcome a lot in life like he's had to overcome.
Incredible. So tender. You could cut
I shake my head, and those are the kind of guys that I have even more respect for.
Coming to you guys.
Push
10 seconds.
Do whatever it takes, overcome a lot of adversity in life, and then also, have a good chance to be a good football player the way he has been doing it. And he's grasped the moment. He's tackled the moment. He's done a good job with the moment, and he's improving.
Here you go.
He has just done a superb job, Mr. Williams has this year with this young defense. We've spent a lot of time this week, my friend, talking about the rookie starters on the offensive side. You have rookie starters on the defensive side. We're at a point now at cornerback where it's dicey, and we were really worried this week about Demarius. Thankfully, he's going to be good. But this is a beat-up unit. The Buccaneers were able to move the ball, but again, the turnovers have been the friend of this defense, and they are creating them at an incredible pace. And it's the style of defense that he wants. And if this can all grow together, these young defensive stars growing in this system, this has a chance to be a special defense for a very long time. I think about like what Dick LeBeau was able to do in Pittsburgh, where he stuck and the players would change, but the system would remain for a very long time.
And that's what you hope to have and get this nucleus going. And we hope to talk to what we think is maybe the central figure in that nucleus, the eye of our Hurricane.
So allegedly, Miles is supposed to be in here in the next 5-6 minutes or something, but I don't like saying it out loud because if he doesn't, then I feel like we'll let people down.
I'm not afraid. Unafraid. I believe in Myles Garrett. I believe he is.
I believe in him.
I'm excited to talk to him about.
Until I see him waltz in.
I want to talk to him about this Jurassic World Alive game that my son got me addicted to on my phone. I feel like it would be right up his alley.
Right up his alley?
You get to walk around town, find the dinosaurs you want, you shoot them, get their DNA, and
like the actual town you get to do that? Or is it just on the...
built off of Google Maps. So anywhere you are, and sometimes they're common, sometimes there's rare, sometimes there's epic.
So you take a phone around...
So you could be on your phone. Yeah.
This is my kids are younger than yours.
So we're here right now. This is us in the building in Berea. That's the street right out in front of Berea.
Is there some sort of dinosaur out there
you could get right now?
Do you have to go over there and get him, or do you just get him on the phone?
I can shoot him from here as long as he's in my circle.
Why are you shooting him? He's not doing anything.
You're getting his DNA so that you can build him up.
And, and then you go his DNA.
And then you go and you brawl with your stable of dinosaurs goes, and it's kind of like the news team brawls, 4-on-4, 4v4.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, and you go out there.
Kill the guy with the trident.
Brick Damon's out there going nuts. Yeah.
Browns fans, the days of printing out PDF tickets and bringing them to the stadium are over. This season, the Browns will feature mobile ticketing for entry to all games at First Energy Stadium. To access your mobile tickets, download the official Browns app and visit the ticket section. Select Manage My Tickets to view ticket barcodes or to transfer tickets to friends. Don't hold up the line by not being prepared. For more information, visit browns.com/mobile tickets. There's a potential that Myles Garrett will be in next. CBD 850 WKNR.
It's
October, and we are scaring up a huge sale all month long only at Rick Case.
Like Goonies,
for
man.
Rick Case Hyundai. We're the only dealership that doubles the factory warranty to 100,000 miles on new Hondas and 200,000 miles on new Hyundais. We're located off of I-90 on East 200th Street or rickcase.com.
Hey, it's Emmett from my team at Liberty Ford. With 6 locations of inventory to choose from, visit libertyford.com and check out our massive selection of new vehicles that are on sale now. And right now, you can get great lease specials with 0 money down on F-150s, Escapes, or you can purchase with 0% APR financing. Visit libertyford.com for details. At Liberty, there's always a sale.
So I just, not that I'd seen some of them, now we're going
Call or text 888-99-AKRON or visit gozips.com for tickets.
It's Big Brands Bonus Month going on right now at National Tire and Battery. Save up to $200 after mail-in rebate on the biggest names in tires like Goodyear, Continental, Cooper, Nitto, Pirelli, Yokohama, and more. Plus, use your NTB store credit card and receive a $50 mail-in rebate on any purchase of $500 or more. $200 rebate valid only on purchase of 4 select Goodyear tires made on store credit card. Eligibility may vary. Select tires, tire disposal fee if applicable, TPMS reset where required, shop fee of 10% based on non-discounted regular retail price, not to exceed $35 where permitted. $50 mail-in rebate subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. See participating store for details. It's Big Brands Bonus Month. Big brands and even bigger savings, plus a $50 mail-in rebate only through October 31st and only at NTB. For tires, oil, service, and repairs, visit National Tire and Battery. That's all you need.
If you're thinking about having LASIK in Cleveland, then call my friends at Clear Choice LASIK. They took great care of me, and they'll extend that experience to you. Clear Choice can help you if you're nearsighted, farsighted, or if you have an astigmatism. All of Clear Choice procedures are all lasers, no blades, done by the top surgeons in the business. When it comes to your eyes, you don't want to go to a discount LASIK place. You want to go with the best. That's Clear Choice. Call 440-740-0400 at clearchoicelaser.com.
Football season is the best time of year, and no season is complete without a trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. The hall has something for everyone. Interactive displays, unique memorabilia, the Lombardi Trophy, and this weekend only, the original Madden Cruiser. This is your chance to tour Hall of Famer John Madden's first Madden Cruiser, free with your admission to the hall. Check out the Madden Cruiser this Saturday and Sunday only, and see why the hall was voted the best attraction for sports fans in the country. More details at ProFootballHof.com.
Kenny Rhoda here for my friend Bob Kalfas, owner of R.A. Kalfas Construction. If you're planning on making improvements to your business or home, maybe thinking about finishing your basement, upgrading your kitchen, bathroom, or want to customize your closet, whatever you're dreaming about, R.A. Kalfas can build it. A family-owned business for over 35 years in Strongsville, you can trust R.A. Kalfas for quality, experience, and customer service. Call 440-238-5498 and ask for Bob, Courtney, or Chris, or visit rakalfas.com. That's rakalfas.com.
This is Baker Mayfield, and you're listening to the home of the Browns. ESPN 850 WKNR.
I was in the gym listening to this podcast, and I would be crying, howling, laughing.
You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN 850 WKNR.
You just found the Holy Grail. I just led you to treasure. Is Miles Garrett coming?
Are we back?
No. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, you're up.
I don't see it.
We need Scout Gibbs to keep an eye out. We've got Gibbs throwing his hands up. We've got new Rob, the camera guy.
New Rob's here in preparation.
New Rob's here.
He's in preparation.
You're here.
We're all here. We're doing a show.
This is our time.
Yeah, this is typically when we flourish.
If I'm
here. And so any minute it could happen. I don't know.
Any movement that happens on the steps.
I know it.
Behind us.
I feel like a hunter in a deer blind, like just eyes peeling everywhere.
And I just feel bad because anybody who walks up the steps, I'm going to be disappointed by
it's not.
Unless they're Myles Garrett. And that's like not anything personal.
No.
It's like right now, it reminds me of the scene in What About Bob when he says, you know, there are two types of people in this world, those who love Neil Diamond and those who don't. My wife hated him. And he's acting like that's the reason for his divorce. Right now, there are two types of people in this world, Myles Garrett and everybody else.
Everybody else. So that's what it is. We'll see. Hopefully, this was the time slot. Injuries during childbirth require experienced counsel. Call the lawyers at Elk & Elk for clear answers as to what happened during your child's birth. Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Browns. Call Elk,
It was just Jeremy.
Ohio.
Just Jeremy.
Just
Gibbs stood up and he made like a gesture, and I thought it was him, and it's just Jeremy. Just Jay-Z, making sure the stream is happening.
Yep.
Can't go on.
Right.
Must go on.
Do you remember the SNL? This jumped into my head. Do you remember the SNL skit where the prompter goes down on like Good Day? You know that with David Allen Greer?
And it's total panic.
It's Will Ferrell, David Allen Greer. And then it comes back after all the carnage, and it's a lot of carnage. Like if you folks haven't seen this, like I'm not making this better than it is. It is that good. It's one of the funniest skits I've ever seen, and it holds up to this day. And at the end of all the carnage, the prompter comes back. That's how I feel right now. We're waiting on Miles. If he shows up, we're prepared. But if he doesn't,
I've got Jurassic World Alive keyed up. I'm going to show him the world.
Yeah.
I bet he'd be able to name all the dinosaurs that I could show him right now. I bet he'd be like, oh, yeah. That's a Dilophosaurus.
Has he been, he's been to the museum, right?
I would think so.
You would think, right?
I mean,
that's a fantastic.
Yeah.
My kids love that. Museum of Natural History, my kids love it.
I wonder if when he was in L.A., if he made it out to the La Brea tar pits where they actually caught some woolly mammoths and some dinos out there. They're right in the tar, and so it's preserved pretty well.
Oh, they kept it? That's nice.
Yeah.
He is off to one of the great starts of a young career. He is clearly, I think, you talk to anybody around the league, and he's pretty much unblockable unless you hold him, which happens a lot. And
only 3 times has it been called.
He's only
that it's been accepted. It's been called more than that, but he's actually got
3 accepted holding calls.
Yes, which is second in the league.
That seems to happen like in every drive. That seems to happen.
That's number 2 in the league behind only Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Now sometimes he's been held and still gotten the sack. So
right. So then you
which is a double whammy.
That is.
But if you add his sacks to his holds, we're at 10 in 7 games.
He's just one of those guys that you build a defense around forever, and and that's the intent certainly here. He's one of those guys that with Roethlisberger, although Roethlisberger has not taken the sacks recently, we got to him in the opener, and he is a guy who likes to hold on and create a play at the very last second. So there's an opportunity there for Miles to make a little. And of course, this goes back to the brilliant video that our production team put together of the Office skit with him dressed as Dwight Schrute shredding Ben Roethlisberger, and so this is always a special game for him, and he is one of the special players in all of the league. And if we are to go in there and get an upset, you feel like a big Myles Garrett game would be required.
It would be, because we're going to have to slow down that offense, and we're not always going to be able to do it on the back end of this defense, and so. That is what I like. That's one of the things that gives you, comfort, is that you've got Miles and Jannard Avery and Emmanuel Ogbah. They are going to need to go ahead and get out there and really, what I would say is, wreak havoc at the point of attack. Change this game. The tough part about it is they played the Bengals last week. You know how many sacks they allowed? 0.
Boy,
so
on that D-line, they gave up nothing.
Bubkiss, and then they played
the
Falcons.
That was 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Falcons, again, nothing, and I believe that was the game T.J. Watt had, I think, 3 sacks in that one. So they have not been giving up a lot of sacks. 1 the week before that. So that's 3 games. You're not getting to the quarterback. The Browns, they were able to do so in week number 1 against them. They got to him 4 times in that game. They've just got to figure out a way to continue that going forward. They've got to figure out a way to get to him against that very good offensive line that, like we said, has the cohesion, has been able to play together. But that's going to be huge, being able to pressure him and ultimately get him down. And sometimes you get pressure on Ben, that's not enough, because he escapes it, and then he's even more dangerous. That's what the Browns are going to have to do, get to him, get him on the ground.
You've been on the sideline for many of those Browns-Steelers games. The first time I saw Ben in person, I was just floored at how big he is. Not like Cam.
Cam blew my mind.
He looks like a defensive end.
He's the most, as I've said many times,
gifted.
The most impressive specimen I've ever seen
in the National Football
League. Up close and personal, just no question.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
insane.
Absolutely crazy.
He's a giant.
Yeah.
Because Greg Olsen is so much bigger than you'd expect him to be, and Cam and Greg Olsen are basically the same size. You say, wait, this guy's a tight end, this guy's a quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's got a cannon. Yeah, he's the most impressive. Ben, he doesn't look. There's some of the guys you look at and go, man, that guy looks like a prime athlete.
No, I don't mean that. He's
just large.
He's a big guy. He's just a really big guy.
He's a big unit.
He is.
He's a load. He's a bit of a load. He's a big guy, and what's impressive being on the sideline for him with him live is his ability to place the football is. I don't think people realize just how good of a thrower of the football he truly is, but the strength that he possesses in the sense that you'll see plays where there are 300-pound guys just hanging on his back and he shrugs them off. You don't see that a lot. You see guys who can escape, they duck out of it, they maneuver away from, they spin out of it. Sometimes he just kind of takes it and is like,
I'm glad you did that. That is what it's like.
And then he just
keeps
going.
Like that.
And he usually points downfield with his left hand, and then somebody
breaks free, and then
it's a big play.
It's a 74-yard gain. That's kind of the way that it goes.
I'll never forget my first game on the sideline was 2014, week number 1. It was Browns-Steelers in Pittsburgh, and there was a play. I'm trying to pull up the game summary real quick because I know it was a touchdown. It was early in the game, and Ben had just kind of broken out. We thought we had him sacked, and instead it was a 35-yard second quarter. I believe it was on a third down, and they had him sacked. It was Billy Wynn, jumped on his back. We had him down, and all of a sudden you think the play's over, and no, sure enough, he comes sprinting out to the right, pointed down the field on a dead run to the right, lofts one, and I watched. Not only was what he did spectacular, then I watched the ball in the air, and Hayden was in pretty good position, right kind of in Antonio Brown's hip pocket. And I watched Brown slow down purposefully to kind of let Hayden get into him and then explode away. So it almost looked like he was open by 3 yards.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, okay, this guy's unbelievable, the quarterback. But just the nuance and just the greatness of what Brown did on the other end to make what was an incredibly difficult play look easy. I said, whoa.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've ever been on sideline for an NFL game to appreciate that kind of greatness up close. And I also remember from that day, I will never forget, and it never gets old, and it never surprises me. And I think when I get back, it'll be kind of almost like a reintroduction to it. How fast, how physical, how loud, and how relentlessly violent the game is. Every single play.
Every play. Yeah, the collision.
New Rob knows. He's smiling over. New Rob gets to be down there.
He knows.
Am I wrong? You see it.
He knows. He knows.
That's right.
All right. CareSource, individual and family health insurance. With health insurance from CareSource, you're not just covered, you're covered with kindness. Coming up next, we go Rallies Pick'em, CBD on 850 WKNR.
He doesn't get to interrupt Rallies Pick'em.
All right, welcome to F-150 Radio.
I don't know what to do.
Ford
F-150 is terrific.
Now let's get
he's walking up here.
Miles, the high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy.
If he's walking up with a medium rare prime rib, I'll allow him.
Towing.
He is not
for homecoming floats. And best-in-class torque.
F-150 is packing what the competition is lacking.
Nicely done.
Enjoyed it a ton.
The Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar; it is the bar.
Best-in-class frames with properly.
I think we've been. I think this is like. I think we're sitting at the table right now. We've uncomfortably ordered our second glass of wine.
Oh, you hate
no.
This summer in Atlanta, you'll meet NFL alumni. Enjoy exciting pregame parties. Watch the action from the 50-yard line and celebrate on the field after the game. For easy one-stop planning and access to hotels and travel, let NFL on Location Super Bowl experience. Secure your official access and the best
Focused.
Super Bowl 53 today. Visit NFLOnLocation.com.
Hey, say hello to the bun back there.
In a frozen muni lot 6 hours
All you can see is our bun.
Kickoff. It's why we go to every game, generation after generation. It's why we cherish memories of a team steeped in history and look ahead with an endless supply of optimism. It's why our university hospitals, sports medicine experts keep athletes from Pee-wee to pro performing at their highest level.
This is
for our
one
team,
that is above all.
for our city, for Browns football. To learn more, visit uhsports.org.
Jacksonville Racino is giving 13 lucky Club Jack members the opportunity to reach into the trick-or-treat bag for
Rob
our
knows.
October Haunted Hot Seat. But don't be afraid.
This is not an easy. This is not a gimme by any stretch.
Cash. Simply have your Club Jack card inserted into any VLT machine on the floor
We're
on
still,
Friday,
streaming.
October 26th
Yeah.
between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. For your chance to walk away with the treat of cold hard cash. Must be 21 years or older to gamble. Must be 18 or older for pari-mutuel wagering. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
I can
you have to
see
hang
that.
out with us in here.
Families and team members depend on their players to be healthy and ready to play. When a family member is injured, it can be a real game changer.
I'm actually working, people. I know it might not seem that way.
You went 11-3 this week.
That's
8 games over. We are 20 games over 500 through 7 weeks in the NFL.
That's crazy. 2 weeks ago, Uncle Tom calls me and says, I'm in Vegas. You got any for me? And I said, boy, you know, I'm doing pretty good on NFL picks. Like, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I can give you 4.
High school football returns to First Energy Stadium Friday night at 7 p.m. as the St. Ignatius
No, you would not.
You don't win Normandy, the Battle of the Bulge. You don't win those things. You don't go to Brass Stone and come out alive.
No,
but
it's
you're not.
all about bragging rights. Tickets are just $10 and can be purchased at clevelandbrowns.com. Brought to you by the Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, Ignatius.
I cannot recommend it.
Renewed. Get your tickets now at clevelandbrowns.com.
I can't stress
came
it
out
enough.
though at a time.
It's amazing.
It's fair.
You guys ready?
Hey, we're coming back here.
You're listening.
Hey, no, don't say anything bad.
Don't forget the Rallies
50
live read.
WKNR.
Yeah, don't forget that. You guys ready?
Okay.
Sure.
All right, you're up.
Browns fans, join us this Sunday at Value City Furniture in Brook Park to watch the Browns beat the Steelers. Get there early to meet former Browns wide receiver Reggie Langhorne. The first 20 in attendance will get a free Browns commemorative poster, plus enjoy snacks, drinks, and more at Halftime Value City. We'll be giving away 10 pairs of Browns tickets for upcoming games and also a $500 gift card. Fun starts at 12:30 this Sunday at VCF location at 7500 Brook Park Road. The voice you hear, the dulcet tones of the Gibbs in the house. Rallies. Pick'em time, boys.
We have 30 minutes.
Well,
before I go out and play in traffic.
Well, you'd be all right.
It would be this would be the first real big fail on your
This
resume.
is not.
What's going on his?
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Right
on his balance sheet.
Time out.
Yeah, this is
time out on the floor.
There are debts and there are
We have a
credits. This
30.
is a massive debt.
Massive
for you.
debt.
Big
Yeah.
debt. Big debt. Not here yet though.
So got some time.
We're trying to speak it into existence. That's what my friend Vince County says I have the ability to do sometimes in gaming situations. I can speak things into existence.
All right. What's our special at Rallies this week, Mr. Bishop?
Oh, it's the mozzarella sticks. Cheesy mozzarella sticks, fried to perfection. Rally's famous French fry seasoning. Rally's fast foodies know the deal. I housed about 6 of these right out of the gate. When these come in, you get pretty excited when these come out. And when they come in, you get pretty excited when you see the mozzarella sticks. I don't know. There's something about the way they do them. I don't
know if it's breading or if it's almost like it's a flaking on the.
I think the proportion from breading to the mozz is a nice. They've got that right because sometimes you get a little too much of the mozzarella, and then these there are not.
It's not like when you get a bag of nuts and there aren't enough cashews in it. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's properly distributed.
Yeah, you're getting the right number.
I do know what you're saying.
David Schwimmer does not.
What did we do last week?
Not well cashewed. Last week you went 11-3.
Something I could enter myself in. How'd
That's
you do?
pretty nice.
It was really
That's pretty nice.
I went 9-5.
9-5.
I felt pretty good. And I dropped 2 games to you.
Yeah.
We're 20 games over 500.
We're 20 games over 500
through 7 weeks in the NFL on every game.
We should probably stop just right now. Just
walk
shut
away.
it down.
Shut it down.
And walk out of the
I'm
place.
calling Musburger.
We need to do what
you're going to debut on that show Monday.
My favorite move in back in the day in Vegas. I'd go into Caesars. I would put it all down. Not all. I would put. We'll call it 100 for the sake of show. $100 down. One hand of blackjack. Win it. Walk away. Walk right into the palm off of the seat in the forum shops.
Yeah.
Prime rib lobster. That's how I'd start my
And
game.
you're living.
And I'm living.
I love that.
L-I-V-I-N.
Yeah.
It's undefeated. If you do the one bet, it's undefeated.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Scotty Buckeye, he uses that move as well.
That's a good move.
It's a good move.
Is it time for the pick 'em?
It's your turn.
It is. I'm nervous. First of all,
now it matters. We're at the halfway point in the season.
There are not a lot of games that the National Football League people who think about these things believe are going to be very close this week.
No, they don't.
First game, we go across the pond. Philadelphia visits the second home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe the first home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wembley Stadium.
Philadelphia, I do not like the feeling of Jacksonville
Losers out,
at all.
I think. Losers.
Well, Jacksonville's still in that. Both these divisions are garbage, Gibbsy. So I don't know if I can go that far.
I'm in. Hot take on Friday.
Hot take, bringing it. I think Philly wins this one, 27-17.
The Jags have been a team that I have not figured out. When I zig, they zag. They're so good in London, England, but I feel when you're fighting in the locker room, you're trotting.
I'm a scapegoat. You're a scapegoat.
You're trotting out a broken Blake Bortles. He's like he can wear a big baller brand hoodie right now for the BBB. Broken Blake Bortles. I'm going to have to take the Eagles. 144.
Oh, jeez.
Jacksonville -4.
Wow, it's a big one.
Rob, we have interesting picks here. Some weird ones. You're more than welcome to just
you have to
blurt
pay
things
attention.
out.
You have to pay attention.
Pay very close
to
attention.
The score.
We're 20 games over 500. Pay attention to the score.
The score.
By the way, Blake Bortles plays well in England.
We're actually down to 19.
I think you both are doing him a disservice.
Wait, at the end, then we do it. Next week.
You're right.
We're
You're
still
sticking
20.
up for sucky Blake Bortles, and I'm sticking up for him because he's actually good when he plays over there. Let's come back across the pond. Denver, Kansas City, 1 p.m. kickoff. A very interesting game.
You worry as a Chiefs fan about them looking ahead to the matchup with the Browns Sunday, November 4th.
It would be natural.
This could be a trap game. They've got America's team on the docket in 1 week's time.
Versus a division game.
Work with me, people. Work with me.
One of their hated rivals is a trap game. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You don't pick to play.
I know. It's America's team. It's on the docket.
It's once every 4 years.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's once every 4 years.
Go ahead.
We're on radio.
Kansas City, 35. Denver, 27.
27. I think a lot of
segment takes 20
It does
minutes.
take a long. I know.
This is a great. This is the most valuable.
There's no doubt it's the most valuable if you pay
segment.
attention to the scores. I think Kansas City lets a lot of people hang in, and I think Denver will hang in as well. Kansas City 41, Denver 35.
Philip Lindsay.
Big day.
Fantasy special.
Big day.
Next up, the 3-4 New York Football Jets taking on the 3-3 Mitch Trubisky Bears in Chicago.
Mitch Trubisky is one of the most fascinating players in the league because if you don't watch their games and you see statistically he'll throw for 300 yards and touchdowns and all that stuff, but then he misses on stuff by 100 miles.
By a country mile.
Yeah, it's crazy. Bears 17, Jets 13.
So this is one where I'm going to go against everything that makes sense to me because I haven't.
You've done this very
effectively
to this point.
I have seen nothing that indicates to me the Bears are going to just blow somebody out of the water, which is what they're smarter people than I.
I don't know if they are smarter than us. We're 20 games over 500.
This is true. The Bears 30. The Jets 21.
Wow.
21.
Wow. All right.
It's not even a hot take. I'm ready for a snack right now. Waiting on Zegura to spit these out.
Earth.
Yeah, you got to make sure that it's the last one. It's critical.
All right. Next up, just because I don't know what Zegura's doing today. I've come to the conclusion that every team in the NFC East is thoroughly unwatchable.
Is this real? Is this a real line?
Unwatchable. There's not a team in the NFC East that I would watch.
I'm being told right now that
Washington.
just pick a winner in this game.
The Giants.
That's what you're being. This is real.
This is where we're at. I believe. I agree, concur. I'm getting the same information.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood.
Is there an injury we don't know about? And
I don't know. I don't understand it. But these are your boys. You're up, right?
I am up. These are my guys.
They've always taken care of you.
They were my guys. Well, no.
Not last
week. That might be about. No, they did.
Oh, they did last week.
They did.
They really have done nice for you.
I'm going to hate doing it because I feel like I'm walking right into a trap. I'm Admiral Akbar. They're like, it's a trap. So I'm not going to do it.
Oh, no.
I haven't been bucked by them enough.
We're already on to Monday at this point.
First time bitten by a snake. Second time, afraid of lizard. Me, fear not, friends. The G-Man. It makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
I just gave you a layup.
Washington 13,
It's a layup.
Giants 10.
It's a layup.
It is a layup. I feel like it, yeah.
It's a nominee for the inmate game of the week.
A layup.
Next up, the Seattle Seahawks visiting Detroit to take on the Lions. An interesting Lions team.
They just acquired Snacks Harrison.
They did. I think Russell Wilson and the Seahawks have been kind of getting better and better, coming off a bye. I think they go into Detroit and get the win. So I take the Seattle Seahawks 24, the Detroit Lions 21.
Next.
Jesus. Incredible salesmanship.
Rob is loving this. You can just come hang out.
So's
the
stream. The stream's loving it. People are getting all they want.
We have some smoothies
the
left.
The pick'em needs to be streamed every week.
It should.
There's a lot of
there's a lot going on.
Subtlety.
I don't know if it works on radio at all, but there's a lot going on.
We're having a good
else.
time though.
It's fun for us.
We're here in this room. Rob's having a good time.
All right, where are we at, Gibbs?
Come on, Gibbs.
We ran out
We're
of
waiting
music,
on
for
you.
God's sake.
We're waiting on you.
Did you just drop an F-bomb?
What?
What? Did you drop a bomb?
No.
Okay. Fontana thinks you did.
Who?
He thinks you did.
Erroneous.
All right.
Erroneous on all
Fontana?
counts. I don't even hear
I would
Fontana.
replay it, but
Good news.
I
it
thought
got
you
dumped.
did. If there was one, I thought it came from your direction.
It didn't come from me. I
don't know.
No, trust me. I'm smart around the microphone. The 1 o'clock games today.
My friend's story would say otherwise.
Tampa Bay.
just to say, if I may.
Tampa
Here we
Bay,
go.
Cincinnati. The Bengals continue to suck. They're going down. The ship is going down quick.
The Bengals, coming off of 2 weeks, bounce back at home against an overmatched Tampa Bay defense. Bengals 30, Bucks 24.
Next.
Wow, that was a quick next. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens, the Carolina Panthers. I guarantee you it will not come down to a missed extra point this week.
I'm going to take the better team. I think that what they did in the fourth quarter against the Eagles is going to have a carry over. Cameron Newton and the Panthers 24, the Ravens 20.
Next.
Colts, Raiders, inmate game of the week as your penalty
You're
for
wrong about
your
that. The
issues
Colts are
to
fun to watch.
society.
Colts 77, Raiders 7.
Colts 78, Raiders 7.
Beat down.
Take that.
Just one up.
Take that.
Like on Price is Right. Price is Right when you get just one
Classic
by one.
one-upper. There's a Saturday. Isn't there a Saturday
Yeah,
night
there
for
is.
one-upper?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Here we go.
425 game.
Here's your. This is it.
No, I still think the Colts.
No, this is way worse.
Way worse.
49ers in Arizona. This is the worst. This is dreadful. Arizona
Wait.
beat them the last time.
Okay, so let me understand this. Arizona beat them
San Francisco at your yard.
in San Francisco by 2 touchdowns. I think it was
That's right.
28-14.
That's right.
And now Arizona underdog at home to the 49ers. 49ers 25. Arizona 15.
What is it wrong?
Arizona 24, 49ers 21.
How could they possibly?
I don't know.
You
Go ahead.
just lay up to me like I lay up to you with the Giants.
Now to the
I know.
one game people will watch in America after 4 o'clock on Sunday.
There's two good ones on after 4 o'clock. The next two are both great.
Okay, but like the 4 o'clock games.
Right, but Green Bay and the Rams is a 4 o'clock game.
Correct.
And then the 8 o'clock game is the Monster.
Yeah, but I was talking just the 4
Oh, you're
o'clock.
talking just 4 o'clock. All right, okay. Go ahead.
This is what I deal with every day.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
So privileged.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple of big bees.
Yeah, huge bees.
Huge bees. Go ahead.
You got a Dick Winters reference earlier?
Anything you want.
I'm pretty sure there was an F-bomb, too.
King of the meats?
There definitely
Pretty
was
sure
not.
there was a bomb.
There was not.
There was not. Go ahead. What are we doing? Rams?
We're going to figure it out. The Packers, and the good news, it was dumped. It never made it to the air anyways. Packers.
Why are you talking about
Rams. Just because.
Rams
it
38.
Takes you 20 minutes to make a pick.
Rams 38. Packers 31.
I don't like you.
Rams 84.
Oh, jeez.
Packers 75.
How great would that be? That would be fantastic. By the way, we could watch that on the entire bus ride home from Pittsburgh.
I think we're going to go 84.
That's what I was doing.
I know you're building me up. It's a nice heel turn on you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, on to the 8 o'clock game Sunday night. Going to be a good one. This is a good one. You are correct, Beau.
This is a great one.
This is
a great one.
Goes either way, by the way.
This is a big G.
Minnesota and the New Orleans Saints. Domer teams. Watch out. A replay of the Minneapolis Miracle.
Everson Griffin back, unsure of what his role will be.
I'm
sure it's going to be to get after Drew Brees.
Mr. Brees.
I don't like to bet against Drew Brees in a dome. I feel like this is a revenge game. The Vikings are clicking right now to me. Minnesota 93. New Orleans 50.
Here's your lopsided NBA score from last night.
Same. 94-50.
Final one. The Monday Nighter. Promises to be a hot garbage one. The Patriots traveling to Buffalo.
I'm not doing it, so
It's
I'm not doing
Patriots
it.
73. Bills 3.
Next, not doing it. I'm
the
not.
Godfather
I am
gonna
not
do
doing
in
it.
that one?
I'm not doing it. I would rather be wrong on that game than do it.
To do that right.
Not doing it.
That right.
Nope.
All right. There we go.
Gibbs, great job. And I thought what we did here today was pretty spectacular, but frankly was not as spectacular as the mozzarella sticks. I mean, is there anything better than melty, cheesy goodness? No.
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 The answer to that.
And Rally's has you covered. If you're a fan of their famous seasoned fries, this is what it is. Here it is. Then you're going to love their mozzarella sticks. It's cheesy mozzarella sticks fried to golden perfection, served with a side of marinara sauce, but the seasoning that made the fries famous have dialed up your mozzarella sticks a few notches. That was it. Remember we were trying to talk about the ratio is great, but the flavor, crunchy on the outside, gooey on the inside with just the right amount of spice. You can get 4 of them. You can get 6 of them. Those are the options. So get some monster flavor just in time for Halloween with the mozzarella sticks. And don't forget about those famous seasoned fries from Rally's. Did you know they offer fully loaded fries topped with cheese, bacon, and ranch? Gibbs knows. Or try the cheese chili fries, loaded with chili and so much cheese that we had to say it twice. Cheese, chili, cheese, fries. Rally's, fast foodies, know the deal.
Good job out of you. Good job out of you too, Gibbsy. All right, coming up next, we go keys to victory. One big thing, and we'll pick it. Browns, Steelers. Coming up next, CBD 850 WKNR.
When you've been in this business as long as we have, you've learned there's nothing sweeter than a scoop and a smile. And since 1969, you've been serving the flavors and faces that make us who we are. The cherry on top, a new Accord. It's built with a focus on our future.
Fontana, play the tape.
Accord.
To be safe.
Oh, no, he's got it. He's got it.
For great deals
It's all
on the new
listening.
2018 Accord.
All right, ready?
Yeah. So I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
I haven't been bucked by them enough. Yeah, bucked.
Boy, but this
bucked off the Broncos.
The way that the sentence is said.
It's right up there with Dick Winters today. It's right up there with Dick Winters.
That's a clear big B.
I understand.
I haven't been bucked.
Great effort out of you.
So I'm not going to do it. I haven't been bucked by them
Now I'm hearing buck. Now I'm hearing buck.
Yes, because I said bucked.
I don't know.
That's incredible effort. That is pretty good.
Fontana, good by you to
any
dump
of
it.
these things,
Always play it.
That is a good
Northeast Factory Direct.
It's funny.
You just if there's any question, just let it. Just get rid of it.
Special.
Now I hear buck.
Because I said bucked.
ESPN Cleveland and Giant Eagle want to hook you
So
up.
I'm gonna
with
ride
an
him again. I haven't been
exclusive
bucked
Coors
enough
Light
yet.
Yeti cooler this football season. Visit participating accounts all season long.
All right,
and
if
look for the Coors
Miles
Light display.
shows
Enter
up
the text to
in the
win
next
code,
12
and
minutes,
you could win a full-size Coors Light
we'll
Yeti
take it
cooler.
right to
For
3
complete
o'clock. We'll just
contest
blow out the
information,
one break.
Visit
G.I. George said,
ESPNClevelandContest.com.
prime rib as the king of all the meats is question one of your CBD loyalty
Coors Light
listener
reminds
quiz.
you,
True.
whatever your
Fact.
mountain, climb on. No purchase necessary. Always enjoy ice cold
Schwartz,
Coors Light.
it must have made it on the air
Hey
because
guys,
people
it's Matt
heard
Fontana
it.
from
No.
I did a
It's on
double
the
take,
stream.
too, when I thought I heard that from the word was bucked. Bucked by the competition. Yes.
Yet most of us, we don't do it right. I love Quip because I have sensitive teeth, and Quip uses sensitive sonic vibrations that are gentle enough on your sensitive gums, but they get the cleaning done. Plus, a built-in 2-minute timer pulses every 30 seconds to remind you when to switch sides, helping guide a full and even clean. My favorite part, the brush heads are automatically delivered on a dentist-recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5.
Right.
Think about your brush? Yeah, it's probably old. Quip is one of the first electric toothbrushes accepted by the American Dental Association and is backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. Quip starts at just $25. Get yours today. GetQuip.com/Fontana, and right now you get your first refill pack for free. GetQuip.com/Fontana. Quip electric toothbrush. That's GetQuip.com/Fontana.
Watch, read, listen live on the ESPN app.
You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN 850 WKNR.
You guys are up.
Man Can, awesome wine in a can. Yes, in a 12-ounce can. Man Can is 100% award-winning California wine available at First Energy Stadium at local retailers. Have you ever been stood up on a date?
No.
Me either. Gibbs?
Yes.
But he doesn't get the stood up on the date reference. He walks this up. What does that mean? You ordered your second glass of wine and you're telling the waiter, don't worry, she's coming. And he's the only one it's happened to. This is unbelievable. You are a treasure. You are a treasure.
I'm aware.
You are.
I am aware.
Monica's aware. That's why she snapped you up.
Yes.
We had hoped to have Miles.
There's still 10 minutes.
This is
I'm
what
texting
happens when
PR right now.
if you've been
There's
stood
still
up
10
before.
minutes.
This is what happens. You start to rationalize.
Doesn't
someone is 45 minutes late for the date?
Right.
Oh, I'm sure she gets stuck in traffic.
She's clearly excited about it.
She's so jacked up. I just was texting with her.
It's weird that she's not responding to my texts or calls anymore. Like I feel like a stand-up could happen in the olden days, but now, like
I don't even
have a cell phone in college.
In the olden days.
In the olden days,
I don't know how. I wouldn't even know how to begin to date in this world. I thank God I don't have to. I wouldn't even know where to begin with what people are dealing with all these social accounts and stuff. I'd be nuts. Thank God I don't have to. But whatever it is.
What a lucky man.
We have been stood up, boys. It's time to admit it.
There is no way.
There's no reason.
How about
there's no denial. There's no reason to continue in denial.
New Rob's hanging on. New Rob's not giving up.
New Rob.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
No. It's like in Goonies. This is our time. This is our time down here. Up there, it's their time.
It's over. It's over, boys. At this point, yeah, it's done. It's done. All right. Keys to Victory, brought to you by University Hospitals, the official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Z, that stands for Zegura. Your first key to victory.
Fast start. That might be all three of my keys to victory, but number one is fast start. You've got to get out and jump on this football team, give you some confidence in your offense early in the first half, and make somebody play from behind against you for a change.
I've been one that I actually think that I know there's been a lot of conversation about the way Baker's played the last couple of weeks. I think he's actually played fine. I think he has to play great. I think he has to play borderline flawless in this game. I think he needs to put his best 4 quarters of football into this game for us to have a chance to win. Really almost perfect. I think he's got to play almost perfect football. That's a lot to put on a rookie, but I think that will be required. I mean, obviously no turnovers. Converting those third downs, you get opportunities, capitalize with touchdowns. Almost a perfect 6 is going to be required. Number two,
pressure on Ben Roethlisberger coming from the front 4. Yes, we're going to have some blitzes. It's a Greg Williams defense, but if we rush 4, we need to get home because we're going to need all the help we can in the secondary against this team, and getting pressure on Ben will be critical.
Get Ben down with 4. That's what I wrote.
Get out of my head, man. Same.
Got to. You have to. You can't.
Same.
It's got to be that way. Look, we did it in the opener on a sloppy track, and you're going to have to try and do it again in Pittsburgh. It's the only chance that you have is to get him down on the ground, maybe force some turnovers. When we had Larry in here last week, we said, what do you do with the quarterback if you can't hit him? And he said, hit the ball. So those type of things have to happen.
Yep.
Finally, sir.
A wide receiver not named Jarvis Landry must make a significant contribution, whether it's on third down or preferably a big play or 2 but somebody who is not Jarvis Landry as a wide receiver is going to need to have a big game for the Browns.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to think. I don't know who that'll be.
AC.
But yeah, he's going to have to. Be nice bounce. Be good for him to have one. He certainly do. You got to win the turnover battle, and I think it's got to be by a wide margin, something like 4-2, 3-1, 2-0, something like that. By at least 2, I think you got to win the turnover battle. I think they're that good, and I think they're pretty primed for this one. So I don't like the look of it, but I really didn't like the look of the feel of last week's game, and it was there to be won. So it's there. This is just a little bit of a different task going to Pittsburgh. Time now for your pick, Sor.
It's hard. It's a tough one. I think this will be a tough one for the Browns. It is a policy of mine that they will find a way.
They will find a way.
Browns 24, Steelers 23.
Okay, I think I can't get there. I think it's a tough one. The Steelers are really. I think the key for this one is just be competitive, be in it to win it as the game goes down. But I think Pittsburgh's really starting to hum on all cylinders at this point, and we're starting 6 rookies, guys. We got 4 rookies starting on offense in key positions. That's a tough recipe over there at Heinz. Motivated Steelers team. I think the Steelers get the win, 31-21. I think it's respectable, but they get a late touchdown to kind of pull away and ice the game, unfortunately.
Sad.
It is sad. I don't like doing it. I'm not,
Feel good about it?
No. In fact, I had my oldest son was and this was a really, we had the Beggars Night for the businesses yesterday in Hudson, and the last year when I had gone, there were this kind of speaks to the overall enthusiasm that has changed around this franchise with some of the things that have happened already.
Yep.
You know exactly where we're going because I've told you the story before.
Yep.
Last year when we did it, there wasn't one little boy dressed as a football player as a Cleveland Brown. Yesterday there were a dozen, and my son was one of 5 or 6 Bakers. He was the best.
Let's call it 6.
6 sixes?
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to add another one. So there were probably 5 or 6 sixes. Of course, he had the sweet towel, and of course, he had we had the quarterback wristband was there. We basically mimicked the Baker look.
What a call by you to get that. It's the details,
I did.
the attention.
It's the little details. Now, the one thing, Uncle Gibbs was supposed to get the Baker headband. That never materialized. He failed on that front.
You know what's weird is he was
Uncle
supposed to get Myles Garrett here, too.
Not a good week.
Man,
not a good week for the Gibbs.
And he's been stood up on a date. That's a trifecta.
And stood up on a date. That's true. All of those things have happened to you.
It's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago on the date.
But it speaks
These
to
are more recent.
Good news.
It speaks to
I just cocktailed and it was fine.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I thought that was going somewhere else.
I didn't know. Yeah. I thought you were saying like literally prior to this performance you
right,
put
so
on.
Right. Yeah. The but my point is that you can lose to Pittsburgh on Saturday. God hope it doesn't happen, but you can, and everything can be going in the right direction. And one thing that the organization has done with these draft picks, these young players, is it has captured the imagination of the youth in this town, in this area, and it was cool to see. It was very, very cool to see.
It was great. It is great to see, and you see that trend happening. By the way, very happy to know that Bon Appetit magazine sealed for you that
they
Prime
did
Rib
seal
is
the
king
deal.
of all the meats, and I have to give a shout out to Eric Park. So the last segment was the king of radio segments. Eric Park said that, the pick segment. That's right.
There might be a bonus little CBD thing.
30.
He's on his way up right now.
He's not.
He
You
is.
can't do that to
Stop
the
it.
people.
You can't do that to
You can't do that to the people.
PR told me he's on his way.
All right, we'll keep
Rob can
streaming.
do it.
We'll
Rob
keep
can do
video
it.
We'll
streaming.
keep streaming
We're
for
gonna
the
keep
people.
streaming.
We're
For
going
the
to keep
people.
streaming, and perhaps there will be a Myles Garrett sighting.
All right. The next level is next. CBD 850 WKNR.
We'll just take Miles. I'm just kidding.
You've been listening to
You'll
Cleveland
get
Browns
nothing in
Daily.
liking.
You'll get nothing in liking.
Fontana, thank you. Have a good call tonight.
Will you?
Yeah, you too.
The word was
But Dick Winters.
We got to crack down and be better. But yeah, losing sucks.
Every highlight.
Goes over the right side. He got nailed.
Can you guys
in the
stick
corner.
around for a
It's
few minutes?
Safety. Chubb blast through left side goal line. Touchdown. Throwing Landry laid up, and it's a touchdown. They rule him in.
Every game.
And the Browns get beat in overtime on a 59-yard
real behind the scenes here, folks.
Your Cleveland Browns live here. ESPN Cleveland. He's not just the insider, he's the general.
They're so undisciplined. They can't take a moment of the game that's the critical moment and win that moment. And they manufacture losses. This is after an input of 31 new players, a new quarterback, a new front office, and the game, which is under the auspices of the head coach, is the same. It's inevitable what's going to happen. I heard that there were, quote, serious conversations going on about what to do.
Tony Grossi lives here on the Land on Demand. Tony Grossi and Jim Donovan on the 100 Years Pod.
You can totally turn this thing around here if you win this game.
You win this
Son
game,
of a...
and you've won